It's Tuesday, August 18th. Today, driving inflation up. How energy prices are affecting the cost of living across the country and in Manitoba. Could there be any relief in sight? Also, e-bike and e-scooter concerns. Winnipeg riders call for enforcement of speed rules as e-devices grow in popularity. What the province says about regulatory amendments. Plus, beekeepers brace for impact as tariffs threaten honey exports. Canada's beekeeping sector is dealing with rising costs and uncertainty. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. It's good to see you. And we have Ainsley live at Manitoba Hydro. The Manitoba Hydro building is going to be quite the place today. That's where people will be scaling down, all from Manitoba Possible. It's the Easter Seals drop zone. So we're going to find out a little bit more on where the money raised goes and how it supports people for Manitoba Possible. I did that
Me too.
years ago when I was 5 months pregnant with my daughter Zoe. It was crazy.
Always an overachiever, Rochelle. I missed all the training sessions, and I was like, I'll be fine. And then you're standing on the edge of the building. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to be fine.
Frightening. But it's once you get to the bottom, you know it's for a great cause, and it feels good that you did it.
Adrenaline rush, for sure.
One of the things that might work against them, though, is wind. Will there be wind today?
It's going to be slightly breezy, Rochelle. Yeah, so they're going to want to keep that in mind as they're scaling down. But yes, certainly right now, though, the winds are not too bad, not too shabby. So those early morning slots will be more favorable in terms of the wind. 8 degrees out there, pretty clear to kick us off. In terms of our winds, as mentioned, they're out of the west this hour at 13 kilometers per hour. The barometric pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 97%. Pretty banal day weather-wise, not a lot to report, but in a lovely manner, in that we have so much sunshine and just some moderate temperatures, still very warm, but not sweltering. Not a lot to show you on our radar as a result. Most of the province starting off fairly clear. The only exception is Churchill rather. You were misting this morning. That's because you have a good chance of contending with some more rainfall today. That's from that low pressure system we were tracking yesterday. You can see it really swirling there around that very northeasterly corner. As we go by through the day, you can see it clips out pretty quickly. Still a good amount of cloud coverage there, while the rest of us looking nice and clear all throughout the day and overnight. Winds out of the northwest or the west, depending on where you're at, they'll be pretty strong, and that's as a result of that low pressure system. They're kind of on the tail end at 20, gusting at times to 40 clicks throughout the day through much of the south. Then overnight, skies staying pretty clear, maybe 1 or 2 clouds here or there in the southwest, but we are keeping an eye on a separate system here. And as Wednesday approaches, it starts to push over the Saskatchewan border and clip on through. Likely it's going to pass us by here in Winnipeg, but there's a few other areas in the Red River Valley that could be getting a little damp. Today, though, 24 degrees, very nice indeed. Lots of sunshine, getting even hotter into the rest of the week.
Thank you, Catherine. New numbers show no relief when it comes to the essentials. StatsCan says inflation rose 3% year over year in July, with many provinces, including Manitoba, even higher. CTV's Jeff Keel reports on what's driving inflation up.
Crystal Hoffman feels the pain when she fills up at the pump with prices above $1.71 per liter.
Ridiculous as usual. Makes things hard in the summer to go do, get out more, get farther out of the city.
She says they have to cut back on other essentials just to get by.
Food's a big one, especially when you got, with work and stuff, you got to balance a lot of things.
The cost of fuel is a big driver in the latest inflation numbers from Statistics Canada, up nationally 3% year over year in July, and it's higher in many provinces, including Manitoba, up 4.2% last month compared to 4% in June.
What we're seeing in Manitoba is similar to what we're seeing in Saskatchewan and Alberta, so sort of a Western trend, if you will. StatsCan says gas prices nationally surged by 25.7% year over year in July, up from 20.5% in June, due to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East.
Incomes are going down and the prices are going up. I don't know what to do.
Federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre and others are calling on Prime Minister Mark Carney to extend a current federal gas and diesel tax cut set to end on Labor Day. And CTV News asked Manitoba's finance minister if the province is considering another provincial gas tax holiday.
We're going to keep listening to Manitobans and, of course, doing the work of lowering costs with all those tools we have at our disposal. More work to do.
We also asked Crystal Hoffman if drivers would like those breaks.
Everybody would, if not more.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
There were other factors besides fuel that pushed inflation across the country. StatsCan says while food prices are down, they are still stubborn, slightly above the national inflation rate. And travel in July drove up the numbers too, as hotels and transportation were more expensive because of the World Cup soccer tournament. StatsCan says in Manitoba, food inflation dropped from 5% in June to 3.2% in July. Manitoba Finance Minister Adrian Sala points to the province's measure that cut PST on groceries July the 1st, calling this a good news report. A significant expansion will soon transform Winnipeg's Simkins Centre into a multi-generational facility.
Being in this business for over 30 years now, I know things that make our residents happy are music, animals, and children. So if we're able to bring the children here on a regular basis, it's going to make life all that much better for our residents.
The facility in Linden Ridge will soon be home to a 20,600 square foot facility known as the Gray Family Center. It's expected to create 152 new childcare spaces for kids under 12 years old, in addition to a multi-purpose gathering area, a gallery, and a wellness center. The Early Learning Center will be operated by the Rady Jewish Community Center. Construction is expected to get underway in October and wrap up sometime in May of 2028. Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador have reached a tentative energy agreement, but a final deal isn't expected until the end of the year after Quebec's provincial election.
What do they offer to Quebecers if it's not this agreement? Where will they find the 10,000 megawatts we are bringing to Quebec with that agreement?
An election must be held by October the 5th. The Parti Québécois, who currently lead the polls ahead of this fall's election, have previously promised they'd reopen energy negotiations. The deal between Quebec, Newfoundland and Labrador and Ottawa includes an expansion of the Churchill Falls power plant, new power lines into Labrador West, a new development on the Churchill River, a rebate for Newfoundland and Labrador, and a feasibility study for a wind development. The total spend on the new deal could reach $70 billion, with Ottawa spending $10 billion. Most of the rest will be paid by Hydro-Quebec. The federal government says this is the biggest clean energy project in North American history. A one-year-old grizzly bear is back in his enclosure after escaping at the Calgary Zoo. The escape happened early Sunday morning before the zoo had opened to the public. The zoo says its emergency procedures were activated as soon as staff discovered the bear, named Fitz, had left his habitat.
Thanks to the swift coordination response, Fitz was anesthetized and he was safely relocated back to his back-of-house space. There was no risk to the public safety as this incident took place before the zoo opened for the day, and Fitz remained close to his habitat throughout the incident. Our initial investigation suggests that Fitz was able to climb above the containment barriers in place and access an area just outside and above his habitat. The cub remained calm throughout the response and was later evaluated by the animal health team, who confirmed that Fitz was in good health without injury.
The zoo says it will review its safety protocols as it determines exactly how Fitz managed to get out. Some 2,000 years ago in Roman Egypt, a 20-something-year-old slave named Alexander was sold from one man to another. The transaction was documented and confirmed by a local bank. Now, not only has that document survived, but you can see it and others like it for yourself right here in Winnipeg.
They were real people. They had lives, they had families, they had businesses, they had struggles. You know, life in antiquity wasn't always, a fun thing, especially if you, like Alexandros, were being bought and sold on the market.
A rare collection of documents from antiquity are now on public display at the University of Manitoba. Professor of Classics Michael Sampson says they provide an intimate look at daily life millennia ago and include letters between individuals and businesses, government administration records, a wedding contract, and tax receipts.
Understanding the past is important, and when you've got the best kinds of documentation, your understanding can be enriched and improved. And papyri are unique in as much as they provide us with insight onto all aspects of Greco-Roman life in the Egyptian countryside over hundreds of years.
The documents are on loan from the University of Michigan. You can see them for yourself now through September 30th at the Elizabeth Defoe Library. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along Kenaston and Sterling Lyon Way. It's just the start of the day, and so far things are pretty smooth driving into work. Let's go now to Ainsley, who's hanging out outside Manitoba Hydro Place this morning. That is the site where people will be doing something pretty crazy and amazing this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
272 feet, Rochelle, rappelling off the building. We're standing along Portage Avenue right now, and Edmonton is typically where they're doing the rappelling. However, there's a little bit of construction, so I'm going to have to see exactly where these folks are launching from. Over 1,000 people have done this in our city since 2005. Manitoba Possible, of course, helps folks with disabilities connect to technology through 15 different programs. We're actually going to be meeting with some of the people just after they rappel, or maybe just before. I'm not sure what level of anxiety we're going to be getting them at. And there's 2 individuals who are celebrating a birthday as well. So what a great, brave milestone to do that on your birthday.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so fun once you're done. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. You didn't have to go far for this adventure. And how's it feeling out there?
And you know, a little bit breezy to kick off the day, Rochelle. You're definitely starting to feel that we are kind of into later August. I don't, again, love to kind of read summer's obituary before it's time, but it's starting to feel that just a little bit cooler. As such, it's only 8 degrees currently. We have some really pretty little clouds here or there, pink as that sun is rising. Winds out of the west at 14 kilometers per hour, pressure falling, humidity at 95%. So yes, another beautiful day ahead, very similar to what we saw yesterday, but we're losing that threat of rain or thunderstorms that we had. We had a little spitting here or there, but really nothing substantial here in Winnipeg. Today, much the same, clear skies mostly, maybe 1 or 2 clouds here or there. Highs will be just a hair below seasonal for most areas. That's mid-20s. For us here in Winnipeg, 24 degrees. Northwesterly winds still staying relatively strong at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, that low pressure system that was bringing rainfall in and around Churchill yesterday continues. It's misting Churchill currently, though it's likely to clip out of your region later on today, leaving behind clouds. All areas to the northwest will be soaking up the sunshine, just like us here in Winnipeg. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. Several buildings were evacuated as a precaution after a natural gas leak on Henderson Highway. The city says crews were sent to the 1800 block, that's north of Chief Pegos Trail, shortly after 10:30 Monday morning. It says the line was struck during some construction work nearby. Although the gas was venting into the air, people were asked to leave some neighboring buildings as a precaution. Several nearby streets were also blocked off, and the city's hazmat team could be seen at the location. Manitoba Hydro eventually managed to stop the leak. No injuries were reported. Move over bicycles and pedestrians, e-bikes and e-scooters are soaring in popularity. But it comes with a growing concern over the rules and keeping people safe. CTV News caught up with riders who say it's time the city of Winnipeg start clamping down on those who ride recklessly.
If there's no enforcement, then people will know that.
St. Vital resident Tom Milne rides his bike 2 to 3 times a week in his neighborhood. Over the last year, he's noticed more e-bike riders and e-scooters in the community. The concern is these riders aren't slowing down and no bylaw keeping them in line.
There are kids zooming up and down the street I live on, no helmets. My message to the city is speed limits and enforcement.
Under the Provincial Highway Traffic Act, e-devices were not previously regulated, but that could change now that Bill 43 has passed. A spokesperson from the City of Winnipeg says they are intending to bring recommendations to Council later this year or in 2027. They say, in part, we are taking a careful and measured approach to studying and determining the best path forward.
I'm not opposed to 15, 20 kilometers an hour, something like that in terms of speed limits.
32 kilometers an hour is what they're supposed to be restricted to. That doesn't necessarily mean you should be driving at 32 all the time. Use some common sense.
Jim Backus rides his e-bike every week. He says he's noticing more younger riders behind the wheel driving recklessly.
I'm seeing more and more people riding the ones that are unrestricted over 32 kilometers an hour.
In Elmwood, Bikes and Beyond staff sell regulated e-bikes weekly, but even they agree there are too many unregulated bikes coming into the market.
A lot of the incidents we hear about are sort of bikes that are imported that don't fit under the regulations, that have pretty much unlimited speed, whether that's 50, 60, 70 kilometers an hour, and they are the problem on the roads.
Manitoba School Boards Association says as kids are heading back to school in a few weeks, the issue is top of mind. It was formally brought to the board in March.
Many of our trustees had some grave concerns about the usage from our students and about them going out and about and perhaps not quite understanding what the rules are around using these devices.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
On Bill 43, a spokesperson from the Minister of Transportation's office tells us as the bill is not yet in force, the department continues working on related regulatory amendments, some of which include potential enforcement and fine-related amendments. There is no requirement for municipalities to pass a bylaw once this comes into force. As an example, existing e-bike laws apply across Manitoba as they are in the Highway Traffic Act. However, municipalities are able to pass bylaws complementary to the HTA regarding roads under their authority. The bill introduced a requirement that an operator of an e-scooter or similar device be 16 or older, for example. It's down to the wire for trade talks between Canada and the U.S. with just hours left to reach a deal to avoid another round of U.S. tariffs.
We're going to continue working. Our job is not yet done. Thank you.
How do you feel it's going, Minister?
Prime Minister Carney and U.S. President Trump spoke yesterday afternoon about the ongoing trade negotiations, but there is no word on whether the two sides are any closer to a deal. Canadian and American trade representatives took negotiations yesterday to the office of U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Lowering tariffs on the steel, aluminum, auto, and lumber sectors have been key demands by Canada. If no deal is reached, the new tariffs will come into effect just after midnight on Wednesday. The new 50% tariffs would be on a variety of goods and could impact up to $28 billion worth of Canadian exports to the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to attack Oman if it, quote, gets in the way with American efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Trump's warning, which follows a similar threat back in May, came as the 60-day window for peace talks between the U.S. and Iran closed Monday without an agreement. Oman, an American ally, is taking a position of neutrality, but is helping to mediate between both countries. Iran says its talks with Oman regarding the Strait of Hormuz are complex but ongoing. This car just rolled off the auction block for a record price. Ferrari's first ever electric car has fetched $40 million US in a charity sale. That sets a record for a new vehicle sold at auction. The sale raised more than 35 times the usual price of the car at the event at RM Sotheby's in California. All proceeds of the sale will be donated to the Ferrari Foundation's educational programs. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Toronto Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Ellis to St. Matthews Avenue. On Cambridge Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Mulvey to Grant Avenue. And all westbound lanes on Monroe Avenue will be closed between Luelda and Grace Street. If you see any issues out there, please send us a text at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
I wonder how much my 2010 Hyundai Tucson would catch on the auction block. Probably not close to that Ferrari, let me tell you. Alrighty, let's turn our attention to the CTV Live Eye. That's brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. A little bit overcast to kick off our day, but we're going to be soaking up plenty of sunshine in due time. It's also a bit of a tepid start. Our temperatures a little bit shy, a little bit cooler than even last week to kick us off the day. Although Morden and Winkler, Portage, Pinawa, Gimli, you're in the double digits. The rest of us still a little bit cooler, 8 degrees in Sprague, 7 in Brandon, 6 over in Roblin. Dauphin waking up to 10 degrees. Similar values on tap for much of northern Manitoba, although it's decently warm in Churchill and Gillam. Churchill a bit soggy to kick off your day with a little bit of mist. That is that remnants of that low pressure system we were tracking yesterday in the northeast. Not a lot to show you though here in the south on our radar because we are going to be dealing with a very clear day ahead. Lots of sunshine, decent temperatures, still just a hair below seasonal. Not terrible comparable, though. 12 degrees with those winds starting out of the west. They will eventually shift out of the northwest, getting pretty strong throughout the day at 20, gusting to 40 kilometers per hour at times. That's as a result of that same low pressure system that has been dousing the northeast. Those winds are on the tail end of that system and are likely to remain overnight. As such, we're going to get up to a high of 24 degrees. I mentioned just slightly below seasonal. 25 is what we're used to, and we're going to be reaching that into the rest of the week. Overnight, though, I want to draw your attention to these lows. Temperatures starting to feel a little cooler as we're starting to feel that we are winding down August. 9 degrees specifically overnight under clear skies, those northwesterly winds staying strong. And then tomorrow, we're really hitting a theme and just sticking with it through the week before a very hot day on Sunday at 28. Your Skywatch picture of the day, the sunset over the Mint there. Tony captured this shot in Winnipeg. Thanks so much for sending that in. And keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Welcome back. Online prediction markets, where people put real money down on who they think will win, are wading into municipal elections. And as CTV's Isabella Savarese explains, it has critics urging caution.
Prediction markets have taken off in the U.S. Sites including Kalshi and Polymarket let people put real money on just about anything.
Will Carg Island get invaded? This random account on Polymarket sure seems to think so.
Now, those same platforms are taking bets on the civic election in October.
A lot of this is based on vibes.
It's prompting reservations from critics.
Voters should be rather worried about the quality of the information they're getting out of these prediction markets. So there is every opportunity for people to try and manipulate these prices for partisan gain.
Polymarket has blocked several provinces from taking part, including BC. But people are finding ways around it, such as using a VPN or virtual private network. Right now, money is being placed on who will be the next mayor of Burnaby, Vancouver, and Surrey.
So the question is, who are these traders? And there is really good reason to think that these are local people who are following local politics.
The president of a public opinion firm says these prediction markets aren't polls and shouldn't be treated as such.
But if you don't know the difference, that is where the situation can be very detrimental, because voters are going to get an idea of what is happening, which isn't really backed by the data science that people like me have been using for decades.
He points to his own poll as an example. Before Research Co. published its Vancouver mayoral results on August 4th, opposition candidates were sitting atop the prediction market.
And then William Asaroff is in fourth place. So is this the poll moving the market? Is the market reacting to the poll? Or is this really the wisdom of the crowd, as these guys like to say?
Canadian regulators say they're monitoring these markets and plan to issue further guidance in the future. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
A new study shows traffic fatalities increased about 15% on the dates popular new albums came out. That's compared to the preceding and following days. The researchers think some people might have been trying to find and stream the new music while driving. The study uses data from the government's fatality analysis reporting system. It's in the journal JAMA Network Open. We've talked about shrinkflation before when it comes to our favorite snacks, and now the Mars bar is being put under the microscope.
This Mars bar from 1991.
Victoria Gordon says she was cleaning the apartment of an elderly woman when she found an old Mars bar in a box. The British woman says she was just going to throw it out until noticing the size and posting a video on social media. The old chocolate bar was 62.5 grams. That's 56% heavier than today's 40-gram product. Gordon says she's received thousands of comments from people noticing that similar products are also being sold in smaller packages. All right, here's a look at what's happening in traffic right now on McPhillip Street. Looks like things are starting off really well this Tuesday morning. If you see any issues out on the streets, please send us a text at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
last night, as I typically do, with a tank top on because, you know, it's still summer. But it was cool. That breeze was chilly.
I know. I don't even like talking about it, but yes, you can feel this certain bite that comes into the air in August. Just be like, get ready, get ready. I've always heard teachers call August like a month of Sundays. It's kind of like that with weather too, as you start to feel that gentle change. Very gentle though, 8 degrees, so it's not cold by any means, but it's definitely starting to come down a little bit as we kick off our days in this later part of August. Decently clear to kick us off. Winds out of the west at 14 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 95%. So yes, we're starting off decently clear in southern Manitoba. As such, not a lot to show you here on the radar. Most of us are going to be actually soaking up a good amount of sunshine today. Winnipeg, no exception. A high of 24 degrees, very similar to what we had yesterday. 25 is a typical high, so we're almost there. We'll call it a wash. Winds, meanwhile, still strong out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. And yes, lots of sunshine on tap for today. Skies also staying clear overnight as temperatures dip to 9. Again, it's starting to see these overnight lows are just coming down that degree or two, and there's that little bit of a colder breeze out there. Those breezes will be out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Then into tomorrow, almost a carbon copy of what we're seeing today, but a little bit hotter. 25 degrees. Wind shifting though out of the east. A little bit more clouds, mix of sun and cloud, particularly into the afternoon. From there, no, I didn't just copy and paste my whole forecast, but yes, we are dealing with kind of a steady theme here. 25 on Thursday with that mix of sun and cloud, a little bit warmer overnight at 14. Skies clear out, looks to be at the remainder of the week. 25 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, heating up nicely into the start of next week. Above seasonal at 28 degrees.
Thank you, Catherine. A torrential rain on July 1st of this year flooded Dauphin's Regional Health Centre, forcing it to close temporarily, leaving the city of nearly 9,000 in Manitoba's parkland without local access to critical medical services. Now, the Premier says the city can expect a return of some services sooner than anticipated.
We're going to have emergency department services back here in Dauphin by Labor Day. We've heard you loud and clear, Dauphin. You need these services close to home. You'll have an emergency department working by Labor Day.
In a post Monday on Instagram, Premier Wab Kinew said the services would be provided through a temporary facility as the hospital is being repaired. No word yet on where in Dauphin that facility will be located. He went on to thank crews working to repair the extensive flood damage in preparation for the hospital's eventual reopening. A 37-year-old Winnipeg man is being held in a Minnesota jail for allegedly reporting a false cross-border abduction. In a series of events, Minnesota police have now arrested and charged a Winnipeg man who was initially thought to be the victim of a cross-border abduction involving a weapon. North Dakota Highway Patrol was alerted Saturday about the possible abduction. Officers immediately used surveillance cameras, license plate reader technology, and cell phone location data to narrow the search area and track the suspect vehicle. It led them to Alexandria in central Minnesota, about 530 kilometers from Winnipeg. There, police were told the victim managed to break free from his captor and run into a store. Officers made contact with both men and took a 31-year-old man into custody for the suspected abduction. As part of the investigation, police conducted extensive interviews and now accuse 37-year-old Roderick Garson of Winnipeg of allegedly making up this elaborate account of being abducted. This is the statement released by North Dakota Highway Patrol. They also say both men knew each other before this kidnapping claim was ever made and no weapon was found. So far, Garson is charged with falsely reporting a crime and is being held at the Douglas County Jail. He's set to appear before a judge there later today. More charges may be coming. We're told U.S. federal law enforcement agencies are now reviewing the case for any potential federal violations. And it's worth noting this was a coordinated investigation which involved local, state, federal, and Canadian law enforcement. There's a troubling buzz in the air at Canada's bee farms, already reeling over the health of bee populations. The honey industry now faces the potentially punishing impact of new tariffs. CTV's Alex Karpa on the growing fears of beekeepers in Manitoba and what they want from Ottawa.
So this will be mostly honey.
Chris Bartel is a third-generation honeybee farmer near Oakbank, Manitoba. He says the industry continues to face significant challenges.
It's definitely getting harder.
Bartel's family-run farm is in the middle of harvest, but there's a cloud lurking over this year's product. The U.S. is set to impose new 50% tariffs on several Canadian goods, including honey, starting on Wednesday.
If this 50% comes on, And it's not just a negotiation tactic and it comes on and it stays on. It could actually cause some farms to be lost. For the industry as a whole, I don't think it'd be a positive thing.
Canada produced over 84 million pounds of honey in 2025, according to Statistics Canada, which is an almost 4% volume increase from 2024. Data also shows that over half of the country's exports in that same year went to the United States.
My producers have said this is devastating. It could put the industry out of business.
The beekeepers sell their honey to Canadian packers, but some are now canceling contracts over fears the tariffs will mean less demand from the United States, which is the industry's biggest customer.
Canceling contracts means that beekeepers will not have a market for their honey, so they will have no revenue basically, because the honey production is the main source of revenue for most beekeepers.
Some economists say the tariffs could force Canadian producers to look for new international markets, a process that could take time.
It might take 6 months to a year before beekeepers are able to find customers that are in Europe or Asia or Africa or South America. So it could be very devastating for the economy here as well as the rest of Canada.
The Beekeepers Federation is calling on the federal government for emergency support if this tariff threat becomes a reality. Alex Carpa, CTV News, near Oakbank, Manitoba.
Folklorama is coming on, but it seems to have left a lasting impression on Manitobans. The festival scored big attendance numbers. More than 360,000 people turned up this year. 45 pavilions highlighted cultures from around the world, and 972 shows were put on during its 2-week stretch. Meantime, Folklorama says it also experienced a green initiative victory. The organization started composting this year. This led to venues diverting around 15,000 kilograms of waste from the landfill. So fun. All right, here's a look at what's happening in traffic right now at Main and Broadway. So far, it looks like things are starting off really well this Tuesday morning. If you do encounter any issues out there, please let us know. And here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.66 rather. A small drop compared to yesterday's amount, and the lowest price in the city is $1.54. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Easter Seals Drop Zone is happening today at Manitoba Hydro Place. We're going to find out where the money goes and who these people are who are stealing from this building. Stay with us.
Sun is starting to rise here in downtown Winnipeg, setting the stage for a sunny and lovely day ahead. It's 8 degrees though, so still a little bit cool out here. Winds are out of the west at 14 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling. Sorry, it's going to bug me. Humidity sitting at 95%. So yes, a sunny, rather pleasant, somewhat unremarkable, touch wood, day weather-wise. Dealing with mostly sunny skies through much of the province, about 75%, and temperatures just hovering below seasonal. For us in Winnipeg, it's 24 degrees. The other kind of thing of note here today on our weather picture is the winds. Still relatively strong out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Those are being kind of fueled, if you will, by this low pressure system that is still affecting the northeast. That's the other 25% that's not dealing with the sunshine. That area in and around Churchill could see the last of that system, bringing maybe some mist already being reported in Churchill, likely to taper off later today, leaving behind fairly cloudy skies. But into tonight, as skies clear out in the north and stay clear overnight with those winds staying relatively strong, we start to see all of Manitoba enjoy some sunshine into tomorrow and temperatures peaking in the mid-20s. We're heading on over to Ainsley McPhail, who's spending the morning at Manitoba Possible's Drop Zone 2026.
We're inside the Hydro building right now. Soon we'll be outside taking a look at when the folks are rappelling. 45 of them this year, and how brave. Stephanie is joining me from Manitoba Possible. A bunch of new people this year too.
Yeah, lots of new rappellers. I think we only have 2 returning, which is awesome to have new people out every year supporting Manitoba Possible. So we really love getting to meet new people and kind of join them in their experience.
And since 2005, how many almost millions have we gathered?
We are about $18,000 away for raising $2 million with this event over 21 years. So we're hoping to get there this year, and our rappellers have been great at fundraising, so we're almost there.
And a lot goes into this, not only from your standpoint, but from the repellers. Tell us about that process.
For sure. So all our repellers get a full training process. We go to Vertical Adventures Gym. This amazing crew behind us explains to them exactly how their day is going to go, and then they get to come here on the day of and rappel 272 feet.
I should have mentioned earlier, but there's so much to get to. Manitoba Possible, you guys are doing such amazing work in our community. This is a Canada-wide event. Let's talk about the amazing work being done already and in the past.
Sure. So the funds raised at this event do support our inclusive summer camp programs, our recreation programs, including the largest sledge hockey program in the province, as well as our assistive technology programs. So we have a huge demand in all three of those areas right now, and this event really helps with that.
When it comes to logistics, I was outside earlier and I said, I don't know how they're going to get onto Edmonton because there's a bit of construction there, Manitoba, this time of year. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen on Edmonton, just to clarify.
For sure. So we do have our training truck on Edmonton. The road is closed from Graham to Portage. We will have a DJ out there. A bunch of vendors will be here today. You can watch from the street. We have a silent auction going on. Caillou Grill will be here with their food truck. So it's kind of a party on Edmonton Street, watching the repellers come down all day.
Thank you so much. And you know what, you guys? You can still donate throughout the morning. That's a great idea. See you soon.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is flat. The Nasdaq fell 354 points. The S&P index had small losses. The Canadian dollar is higher, set to 72.12 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is slightly up, and the Nikkei sank 1,759 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Manitoba's largest hospital is still working to recover from a cyber attack a week after first discovering it. Shared Health says the ransomware hit maintenance systems at Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre and Cancer Care Manitoba, but patient care isn't affected. An investigation found the attack has affected central monitoring of its heating, ventilation, and cooling systems, but they are still operating and being monitored locally. As a result, the Health Sciences Centre's security office is closed, and the hospital is unable to issue or update ID access cards. Shared Health says it is still investigating whether any personal health or financial data was accessed, but an initial review suggests none was. Additional security has been added on site as a precautionary measure after the problem was discovered on August the 10th. Demolition is now underway at the site of one of Canada's deadliest mass shootings.
It feels like it's been a long time in coming. On the other hand, it's only been 6 months since this tragedy.
Crews have started to tear down Tumbler Ridge Secondary School in northern BC. 5 children and 1 education assistant were killed at the school earlier this year. The 18-year-old shooter also died inside the school after killing 2 family members at home before carrying out the attack. Once the building is fully removed, the school site will be restored to grass and discarded building materials will be taken to landfills outside the community. The demolition will be carried out in phases. BC Premier David Eby announced in May that a replacement school would be built in the community, quote, as quickly as possible. The search continues for a missing pilot in Ontario after his aircraft was found in the Kawartha Lakes region. 73-year-old David Douglas was last seen early Friday morning when he took off from Oshawa Airport. He was flying a small blue and yellow single-seat home-built plane. Debris from the missing plane was found yesterday in Queen Elizabeth II Wildlands Provincial Park, about 200 kilometers northeast of Toronto. But Douglas is still missing. The Joint Rescue Coordination Center in Trenton found the plane and say the case is now with the OPP as a missing persons case. Ontario's government says failing to build data centers in the province risks Canadians' data being sent to the U.S.
It ends up on an American server. It will be subject to American law, subject to American surveillance, could be subject to Americans deciding we no longer have access to it. We live in a fraught political landscape right now.
Speaking at the Association of Municipalities of Ontario in Ottawa Monday, Ontario Premier Doug Ford said the centers are key to keeping our information sovereign. Despite the controversy around data centers, Ford says he wants more of them to be built here. Oakville has imposed a 1-year halt to new data centers, and Mississauga is looking at something similar next month. Ontario recently launched a new framework called the Data Center Playbook to create rules for data centers in the province. Under it, large data centers would be subject to a new electricity rate class, which would result in them facing higher bills than other industrial energy users. They'd also have to minimize environmental impacts. Doctors are warning about the spread of misinformation surrounding an essential vitamin for newborn babies.
This is a well-established, much-needed, very routine biomedical procedure.
More parents are refusing an injection of vitamin K for their newborns at birth. It's been a common practice in Canada since the early 1960s. It helps with blood clotting to prevent brain bleeds. Babies are born with a vitamin K deficiency, and the shot is meant to prevent a rare but potentially life-threatening condition known as vitamin K deficiency bleeding. It can also lead to long-term brain damage. Those opposed to the shot list a number of reasons why, including concerns about ingredients, preservatives, and debunked links to leukemia. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Toronto Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Ellis to St. Matthews Avenue. On Cambridge Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Mulvey to Grant Avenue. And all westbound lanes on Monroe Avenue will be closed between Luelda and Gray Street.
Casting our eye to the sky, that sun looking gorgeous, starting to perk its head up. 8 degrees out there. Winds are gusting out of the west at 14 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 95%. A little bit of cloud coverage to start off our day, but not a lot picking up on the radar. Very little to show you. You can see it's a little bit more overcast in the northeast. That's where that low pressure system has been kind of haunting, if you will, hanging around for the last day or so. It's likely to continue throughout much of the morning before tapering off into the afternoon, particularly on that very eastern stretch, while Thompson is sitting pretty under a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures here a little sluggish in Churchill, 11 degrees. The rest of this region peaking in the mid-teens. Over to the northwest, different story altogether. Lots of sunshine on the way. Decent temperatures cracking the 20-degree mark in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, La Pond, Flin Flon. Cooler in Lynn Lake at 18 degrees, 19 over in Norway House. Southwestern Manitoba, lots of sunshine on the way for you, and pretty uniform temperatures with the exception of Swan River, the outlier there at 22 degrees. Over here in Winnipeg and the surrounding Red River Valley, still slightly below seasonal with our temperatures. 25 is what's typical for much of the region. We are all shy of that, but just by a degree or two. Winds will be strong out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Northwestern Ontario, mix of sun and cloud for you. Very similar. My job is pretty easy today. Most folks have the same forecast. Temperatures there a little bit cooler in the low 20s. Overnight tonight, we'll see those northwesterly winds continue at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Temperatures getting cool overnight at 9 degrees. Then into tomorrow, we hit a theme and we're really sticking with it. 25 on Wednesday, that mix of sun and cloud. Staying a little bit warmer overnight for the next bit of the week. We do get a nice warm up though. Lots of sunshine beforehand. And then by Monday, we're back above seasonal at 28 degrees.
Check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hello.
Hi, good
morning, Michelle.
So this is kind of cool. So if you stream us on the iHeartRadio app, which is free, by the way, you're going to hear Lloyd, myself, our producer Amber, and Ace. Ace is not here right now because he's actually working from home, so that's why it's just the two of us. So when we wave this morning, good morning, we're actually waving to Ace, who is watching from home and joining us on the radio, which is very, very cool.
Yes.
Now, a couple of things we want to shout out. Tacos and Tequila goes this weekend, Saturday, at Blue Cross Park. The Gold Eyes are on the road, so there's some tickets still available. It's going to be a really fun party. But what we really want to talk to you about is something that we've noticed that has been happening this summer. So it happens year-round in Manitoba, and I'd say more specifically Manitoba than Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Now, the perimeter, I think, is where it starts, and then it works out. And it happens year-round, but in the summer, we found that it's happening a lot more.
I've noticed it.
So here's the thing, and maybe it is a public service announcement. And when you were on holidays a couple of weeks ago, you maybe would have found it as well. We're talking about double-lane highways.
Yes.
Double-lane highways and
knowing which lane is the fast lane and which lane is the slow lane. We don't think people know. We are finding that people in the left lane
or going very slow when
That's
it's
right.
unable to pass. I can't tell you how many times I've been stuck behind two cars side by side going the same speed, and then you're just stuck.
Yeah.
And so I think that we wonder sometimes if that is something that you are prepared for on a test, because whether you grow up in the city or you grow up in rural Manitoba, you're being either tested in a town or a city. I don't think there's a highway driving portion of that test. Now, maybe you're looking at it in your textbook and you're learning with Driver Z, but you're not actually practicing it. And it seems to be getting worse because maybe traffic is a bit busier in the summertime, but it's a PSA.
Yeah.
Left lane on a double lane highway is for passing, and you get back in. You pass and you get back in.
Absolutely.
You pass and you get back in.
Please get out of the way.
Yes, please do. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. It's an important reminder. A pipe band from BC Simon Fraser University has won the so-called World Cup of Bagpipes in Scotland. And they made some history along the way. CTV's Sinjin Alexander on the performance that put them on top.
In the world of pipe bands, it doesn't get any bigger than this. These are the best of the best. 2 days of breathtaking yet grueling competition, the pinnacle of the piping calendar.
Simon Fraser University Pipe Band from Canada.
This year, the team from Simon Fraser University wowed the crowd. The players seemed to click, firing on all cylinders. That's pipe major Alan Bevan.
There was a cohesion to this group this year that I'm not sure if I've felt it in other years, but I'm not sure I've ever felt it this much. All 4 performances felt really solid. People came off with a smile on their face, and as leader, it felt, never feels easy, but it felt like nothing was going to go off the rails.
The judges agreed. SFU's performance was top class and were chosen world champions.
This is like winning the World Cup of the bagpiping world.
No small feat considering 6 other teams were favorites, positioned to take it all.
We kind of come out of nowhere from the west coast of Canada.
We won't call you the upset, but was it a surprise?
It probably was. It was a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest.
In a win not only for country, but family too. Bevan's wife and sons are in the band. So is Sutherland's spouse. All of them live in British Columbia.
It means the world to us to get over there and compete and to get such a fantastic result.
After all, the last time a team outside the United Kingdom won was way back in 2010. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
And here's a look at Taché Avenue right now. It looks pretty good this morning. It's a beautiful start to the day. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with your 7 o'clock headlines. Today, pain at the pump, how rising gas prices are driving up the cost of living in Manitoba. Plus, some safety improvements, how artificial intelligence is being used to keep weapons out of HSC. And the Great Escape, which animal managed to get out of its enclosure at the Calgary Zoo. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Hello there, Manitoba. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. It is 7 o'clock. Thank you so much. And coming up at 7:52, we're still buzzing about the Sea Bears' historic win on Saturday, the CEBL champions, of course. And we're going to have forward Simon Hildebrand joining us at about 7:52 to tell us a little bit more on how he's feeling today. He's a local guy, and so we're going to find out what it's like to win right in your home turf, as well as whether the buzz is still there or whether
I'm still feeling it.
I know, it's
Yeah.
exciting. So we're going to find out more about that. But the weather today, it's going to warm up in this province.
It's getting there, yeah, Rochelle. It definitely is kind of losing some of that really hot summer heat, but we're still by no means out of this. We have gorgeous conditions ahead through much of the province. It's 8 degrees currently, so as you can see, the mornings are starting to feel that little bit more crisp, that little bit crisper is the better way to say that. A couple clouds out there, that sun has peaked up. Winds out of the west at 14 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling. Humidity currently at 95%. So yeah, a lot of sunshine on the way to much of Manitoba. As a result, very little to show you on our radar. A little bit more overcast to the northeast. That's where there's been some soggy conditions the last day or so. Likely that'll continue throughout the morning, but taper off later today. Our futurecast shows us the culprit. It's this low pressure system. It's starting to make its way out of the northeast corner en route to Ontario. As the day progresses, though, it swirls out. You still have that back end there, likely to bring more showers throughout the morning to Churchill, and then from there cloudy. The rest of us, though, in this L shape, lots of sunshine for us to enjoy, maybe a couple clouds here or there. On the back end of this low pressure system, excuse me, some very strong northwesterly winds that we're going to be feeling here in southern Manitoba, all in the Red River Valley, out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Those will continue overnight as our skies stay relatively clear. You start to see those clouds thin a little bit in the northeast. We are keeping an eye on this system over here. As you see, pushes over the Saskatchewan border overnight into Wednesday morning, potentially bringing some rainfall to areas in and around central parts of the province, maybe into the Red River Valley. We're likely to stay dry. For us here in Winnipeg, a high of 24 degrees today. We heat up through the rest of the week, and we're really locking in at 25. We're committed. And then by Monday, we're back above that at 28. Your weather art of the day, this one drawn by 10-year-old Parker. A lovely picture of Parker walking their dog, I would assume, on the road with some lovely flowers. Thank you so much for sending that in. And if you'd like to submit your child's weather art of the day, simply visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg. It's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Keniston.
New numbers show no relief when it comes to the essentials. StatsCan says inflation rose 3% year over year in July, with many provinces, including Manitoba, even higher. CTV's Jeff Keel reports on what's driving inflation up.
Crystal Hoffman feels the pain when she fills up at the pump with prices above $1.71 per liter.
Ridiculous as usual. Makes things hard in the summer to go do, get out more, get farther out of the city.
She says they have to cut back on other essentials just to get by.
Food's a big one, especially when you got, with work and stuff, you got to balance a lot of things.
The cost of fuel is a big driver in the latest inflation numbers from Statistics Canada, up nationally 3% year over year in July, and it's higher in many provinces, including Manitoba, up 4.2% last month compared to 4% in June.
What we're seeing in Manitoba is similar to what we're seeing in Saskatchewan and Alberta, so sort of a Western trend, if you will.
StatsCan says gas prices nationally surged by 25.7% year over year in July, up from 20.5% in June, due to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East.
Incomes are going down and the prices are going up. I don't know what to do.
Federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre and others are calling on Prime Minister Mark Carney to extend a current federal gas and diesel tax cut set to end on Labor Day. And CTV News asked Manitoba's finance minister if the province is considering another provincial gas tax holiday.
We're going to keep listening to Manitobans and, of course, doing the work of lowering costs with all those tools we have at our disposal. More work to do.
We also asked Crystal Hoffman if drivers would like those breaks.
Everybody would, if not more.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
There were other factors beside fuel that pushed inflation across the country. StatsCan says while food prices are down, they are still stubborn, slightly above the national inflation rate. And travel in July drove up the numbers too, as hotels and transportation were more expensive because of the World Cup soccer tournament. StatsCan says in Manitoba, food inflation dropped from 5% in June to 3.2% in July. Manitoba Finance Minister Adrian Sala points to the province's measure that cut PST on groceries July the 1st, calling this a good news report. We're learning how artificial intelligence weapons scanners have prevented hundreds of potentially dangerous items from entering Health Sciences Centre. A spokesperson for Shared Health says between March 2025 and the beginning of this month, the technology has flagged more than 1,970 items. This includes knives, box cutters, syringes, drugs, and alcohol. However, the system can flag items which are not weapons, such as nail files or medical equipment. Manitoba Nurses Union President Darlene Jackson is praising the technology, saying it should be introduced at more hospitals.
I think it's really cut down the number of weapons that they're seeing at HSC. However, we are still seeing more weapons and a growing number of weapons at the other facilities. So that's why I've been advocating for IA scanners at every facility in Winnipeg, or every facility that is experiencing increased violence and weapons.
Jackson added she's heard anecdotally from nurses at HSC that safety has improved considerably in the past year. However, the facility is still gray listed, meaning nurses in Manitoba have agreed it's an unsafe working environment, and Jackson says that won't be rescinded until they get further safety commitments. A 1-year-old grizzly bear is back in his enclosure after escaping at the Calgary Zoo. The escape happened early Sunday morning before the zoo had opened to the public. The zoo says its emergency procedures were activated as soon as staff discovered the bear, named Fitz, had left his habitat.
Through the swift coordination response, Fitz was anesthetized and he was safely relocated back to his back-of-house space. There was no risk to the public safety as this incident took place before the zoo opened for the day, and Fitz remained close to his habitat throughout the incident. Our initial investigation suggests that Fitz was able to climb above the containment barriers in place and access an area just outside and above his habitat. The cub remained calm throughout the response and was later evaluated by the animal health team, who confirmed that Fitz was in good health without injury.
The zoo says it will review its safety protocols as it determines exactly how Fitz managed to get out. Medication used to reduce patients' risk of developing blood clots may also reduce the rate of cognitive decline related to Alzheimer's. That's according to a recent study published in the European Heart Journal. The team analyzed information from more than 7,300 patients. They found those being treated with newer anticoagulants saw significantly slower declines in cognitive function when compared to those on an older drug and those who weren't taking any blood thinners. However, they note the research was observational, meaning scientists can't be certain the drug played a role. They say it warrants future research. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along Portage Avenue at Pula Park. Things are moving well over here. If you see anything out there on the streets, please send us a text to let us know.
Is the deadline for U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff that would see 50% fees imposed on a variety of goods from cement to hockey sticks. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Janice Charette, the chief trade negotiator, have been in Washington since last week. They sat down with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick on Monday. The Canadian Real Estate Association says home sales in July were down 5.3% compared with a year ago, but edged up a half point month over month. Sean Cathcart, CREA's senior economist, says that below the surface, markets across the country are generally moving back toward balance. And Home Depot's results beat estimates in the latest quarter, a sign that spending on improvement projects is holding up despite high borrowing and housing costs. Comparable sales, which measure results at stores open for at least a year, rose 1.7% in the period, better than the average of analyst estimates and the highest since late 2022. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's live this morning at Manitoba Hydro Place. This is where there's going to be a lot of action today, up in the air. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Yes, it is going to be on Edmonton. If you're walking by going, how are they going to do this? They're going to make it happen for Manitoba Possible and Easter Seals, an event that's been going on since 2005. We're standing in the practice area right here. I will say I did this a few years back. Didn't get a practice, and it certainly showed. 272 feet of Manitoba Hydro building. Folks are going to be rappelling starting at 8 a.m., and we're going to be chatting with some of them. We're also going to be talking to Janelle, who has received some equipment from Manitoba Possible. Folks with disabilities waiting on over $100,000 of technology that has helped through donations like yours. We're also going to be talking to the people who have rappelled. I think I brought that up. But a fact I didn't bring up is it's their birthdays. 44 people doing this today.
Wow.
Or not 45, 46? I'm not one of them, is the point I'm trying to make.
All right. Well, we'll check in a little later. Thank you. Let's go out to the rooftop now, and we're going to see some sun later today.
Yes, Rochelle, we are starting off on a touch of a cloudy note. Depending on where you're at in Manitoba, it's even more so. But yes, we have a few speckling our skies here in Winnipeg, 9 degrees. Winds, meanwhile, are out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 94%. But to your point, Rochelle, yes, the sunshine will be making itself much clearer throughout the day. We're on tap for lots of sunshine throughout 75% of the province, I'll say. Through the northwest into the southwestern Manitoba, Brandon, Neepawa, Dauphin, through the Red River Valley, lots of sunshine. Temperatures throughout peaking in the low to mid 20s. For us in Winnipeg, that's 24 degrees. Northwesterly winds still pretty strong at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. The outlier here forecast-wise is in the northeast. That low pressure system that kind of brewed over Nunavut and came into your area yesterday continues the last gasps of it, dumping a little bit of rain on you today. Churchill specifically has some mist. That'll likely push out later on this morning, leaving behind cloudy skies in that neck. Temperatures there chillier in the low to mid-teens. For us here overnight, our skies staying pretty clear. Temperatures dipping down in Winnipeg to 9. Those northwesterly winds persisting relatively strong. And then into tomorrow, much the same mix of sun and cloud, and highs even warmer in the mid-20s.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
It's time now for our question of the day. We wanted to know, have you ever bought something and never used it? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at CTV.ca. And then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. A significant expansion will soon transform Winnipeg's Simpkins Centre into a multi-generational facility.
Being in this business for over 30 years now, I know things that make our residents happy are music, animals, and children. So if we're able to bring the children here on a regular basis, it's going to make life all that much better for our residents.
Facility in Linden Ridge will soon be home to a 20,600 square foot facility known as the Gray Family Center. It's expected to create 152 new child care spaces for kids under 12 years old, in addition to a multi-purpose gathering area, a gallery, and a wellness center. The Early Learning Center will be operated by the Rady Jewish Community Center. Construction is expected to get underway in October and wrap up sometime in May of 2028. Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador have reached a tentative energy agreement, but a final deal isn't expected until the end of the year after Quebec's provincial election.
Offer to Quebecers if it's not this agreement? Where will they find the 10,000 megawatts we are bringing to Quebec with that agreement?
An election must be held by October the 5th. The Parti Québécois, who currently lead the polls ahead of this fall's election, have previously promised they'd reopen energy negotiations. The deal between Quebec, Newfoundland and Labrador and Ottawa includes an expansion of the Churchill Falls power plant, new power lines into Labrador West, a new development on the Churchill River, a rebate for Newfoundland and Labrador, and a feasibility study for a wind development. The total spend on the new deal could reach $70 billion, with Ottawa spending $10 billion. Most of the rest will be paid by Hydro-Quebec. The federal government says this is the biggest clean energy project in North American history. Folklorama has come and gone, but it seems to have left a lasting impression on Manitobans. The festival scored big attendance numbers. More than 360,000 people turned up this year. 45 pavilions highlighted cultures from around the world, and 972 shows were put on during its 2-week stretch. Meantime, Folklorama says it also experienced a green initiative victory. The organization started composting this year. This led to venues diverting around 15,000 kilograms of waste from the landfill. Here's a look at your drive now at Confusion Corner. It looks like things are pretty smooth in this part of the city, and we haven't heard any issues in other parts. But if you do see something out there, please send us a text to let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
The biggest Filipino event in Manitoba is back in action this weekend. From traditional dancers to street food and even beauty queens, the Winnipeg Filipino Fiesta celebrates the province's vibrant Filipino community. The festivities also include a beloved parade, special guests, and fireworks. The event kicks off at the Maples Multiplex grounds on August 22nd and runs through the 23rd. The Jonas Brothers are heading out on a North American tour this fall, but you'll have to hit the road to see them live. The band of brothers announced they're expanding their tour to 45 cities after selling out 3 of their Madison Square Garden shows in August. They'll be making one Canadian stop. That's at Toronto's RBC Amphitheatre on September 28th. All-time low, Delisa, Magnus Farrell, and the band's youngest brother, Franklin Jonas, have been announced as the tour's openers. General sale tickets will start Friday through Ticketmaster. The Princess of Genovia is also a legend.
I am here today because I am one of the most insanely lucky people in the world and the true source of the luck that brought me here.
Hall of Fame 25 years after she starred in The Princess Diaries. Hathaway's box office haul has hit more than $2 billion this year, over 4 films, and she still has one more movie in October called Verity. A new drama is on the horizon.
It's your brother. We had a problem and it's led to some things.
Initial teaser trailer for Paper Tiger has been released. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver, and Miles Teller. The story follows 2 brothers who get involved in a dangerous Russian mafia scheme. It hits theaters in November. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with The Big Bang Theory. At 8, catch The Amazing Race Canada. And Password winds things up at 9 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV. This, when I was on my break, Catherine, I read the book Verity. Wow.
Did you like it?
It was wild.
Is that Colleen Hoover? No,
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
I was very confused in the beginning and wow, shocked by the end. It's quite an adventure.
I mean, I love the cast. Maybe I got to give it a read before the movie comes out.
Exactly. I can't wait to see it.
Not exactly, you know, a good time to actually, Rochelle. I was going to say not staying inside cozying up with the book weather, but get outside and enjoy the day with your book. Why not? It's looking to be such a gorgeous day. Let's take a look through the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. A little bit tepid, a little bit cloudy out there to kick off our day, but they'll be clearing off in due time, leaving behind a good amount of sunshine. In terms of tepid, the temperature is a little bit cool. You can see we're starting to cross the double-digit mark in a few areas, but other areas a bit sluggish. 6 in Roblin, 8 in Swan River, Sprague at 8 degrees as well. Gimli setting the stage at 10. To the north, temperature is very similar in the double digits along the northeast, Churchill, Gillam, and Island Lake. And then over in the Pas, a little bit cooler at 7 degrees. Thompson waking up to 8 degrees on this Tuesday. Not a lot to show you on our radar, though it is decently cloudy. We are going to start to see that start to break up later on, leaving behind a good amount of sunshine to enjoy. For us here in Winnipeg, we're still a little shy of what's seasonal, but it's basically a wash at this point, and we'll be crossing that mark in due time. 12 degrees in the morning with clear skies. Those winds start off out of the west, and then they shift out of the northwest, getting decently strong at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. We do a very slow advance here. We're actually going to do one better than 23 degrees. 24 is our high. I mentioned we're just close to seasonal. 25 is what's expected, but we'll call it a wash again. Temperatures overnight pretty clear. 9 degrees, though. We're starting to feel some a little bit cooler temperatures overnight. We do break that into Wednesday. While we're dealing with a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 25, we hang on to a good amount of heat overnight at 15 degrees. And then from there, Mother Nature just wants to stick with 25 through the week, as you can see. Lots of sunshine on the way, maybe a little bit of cloud coverage on Thursday, but for the most part, nice and clear, and those overnight lows even getting a bit warmer. And next week, we're taking a bit of a rise to 28. Your Skywatch picture of the day, a gorgeous shot of the sunset over the Mint here in Winnipeg. Thanks to Tony for grabbing the camera and taking that picture. And if you've got any to share, we'd love to see your weather photos. Do email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
August 18th, 1960. The first commercially produced oral contraceptive, N-Ovid-10, was launched. It was manufactured by G.D. Searle and Company of Chicago. Hormone levels in the original medication were much higher than those found in modern oral contraceptives. Clinical trials took place in Puerto Rico as contraception research faced legal restrictions in mainland USA. August 18th, 1998. Winnipeg businessman Izzy Asper announced a $950 million deal to buy 11 television stations owned by Western International Communications Limited, making his CanWest Global Communications Canada's biggest private broadcaster by revenue. Stations in the deal included BCTV in Vancouver and CITV in Edmonton. August 18th, 2020. Dale Hawerchuk, who became the face of the Winnipeg Jets en route to the Hockey Hall of Fame, died at the age of 57. The Toronto-born Hawerchuk played in the NHL for 16 years, having been selected first overall in the 1981 draft by the Winnipeg Jets. He retired from the NHL in 1997 and was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2001. Well, here's a miniature model making a big impact on Simpsons fans. Mark Hagan-Guiri spent over 3 years building this miniature Springfield from The Simpsons. He created all 76 buildings by hand using MDF, paper, and 3D printed parts. He calls it the biggest, smallest model of Springfield ever made. All the iconic locations are there, like the Quickie Mart, Moe's Tavern, and Krusty Burger. The attention to detail is insane. To cap off the epic project, he recreated the famous intro to the show. There are 37 seasons of The Simpsons with more than 800 episodes since its premiere in 1989. Now to a colorful new exhibit where East meets West in the heart of Denmark. Looking at a section of Copenhagen's historic Tivoli Gardens that has been transformed into a Japanese streetscape lined with shops, lanterns, and neon signs. Since opening nearly 200 years ago, Tivoli has drawn inspiration from Asian architecture and design. Organizers say the area is not intended to replicate Japan, but was created with inspiration and respect for Japanese culture. Coming up, Ainsley is live telling us all about the Easter Seals Drop Zone, which is happening today, all from Manitoba Possible. Stay with us for more. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about the Easter drop today that is happening. People will actually be scaling down the Manitoba Hydro Place building, which is a huge feat indeed, but it's all for a great cause, raising money for Manitoba Possible, which provides supports to so many Manitobans. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. I am joined by one of those Manitobans, Janelle Marie. You've got the coolest wheelchair I've ever seen, because not only is it bedazzled pink, there's tons of stickers at the back. I even took a picture of it. I totally had to. Janelle Marie, thank you for being here today. You are an ambassador for Manitoba Possible. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Janelle Marie, and I am one of the 3 ambassadors for Manitoba Possible. And I kind of ended up in this journey by fluke, but it was all because once I became a participant of Manitoba Possible, I decided I really wanted to be a part of something, and I saw the previous ambassadors doing what they do, going out, speaking on different disabilities, different events, and I was like, I can do that. I'm a good talker. I want to talk for everybody, so I decided to apply, became the ambassador, and I am absolutely loving it.
I'm trying to remember the exact stat off the top of my head, but many Canadians will develop a disability in their lifetime. So if it's not now, later on, unfortunately. You are one of those Canadians. Talk about that perspective, because you've overcome so much and you're still doing more.
I never stop. That's what everybody says. They're always asking me, how do I keep going? Because I don't think I'm ever home except for sleep, because I just go all the time. I'm always advocating. I'm always going to different events. I want my face to be everywhere, so I literally just do everything. Getting in a disability as an adult, it started off, I was sick, and I was at a dance competition. I came home one day after a competition and woke up the next morning, and I went to get up and I couldn't walk, and I was like, okay, something's wrong. So we called the ambulance. I go to the hospital, that stay ended up being 18 months because they didn't know what I had. And it ended up that I had multiple autoimmune disorders all working against me and my body, and it chose me not to work, to be able to walk. But what happened from there, because I'm determined and I don't stop, I started off only being able to walk with a walker on the laps when I go to the wellness center, half of a lap. Now I can do 6 laps, and my goal is by October to do 8 laps, and I don't use the walker anymore because I don't like using it. My goal is to get out of the wheelchair.
Amazing. And you know what? I just know with your determination, you're going to make that happen. I wish we had a podcast. We're out of time.
Okay.
Darn it.
Everyone keeps telling me I should get
Well, we'll find out more. Thank you, Ainsley. And for those people scaling that building today, there will be a little bit of wind.
A little bit of wind, good amount of sunshine though, and especially it's not going to be terribly hot, so you're not going to be sweating it out. 9 degrees out there. You can see that sun is rising, has risen, I should say. A little bit of cloud coverage, winds out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour, pressure on the rise, humidity sitting at 94%. Yeah, not a lot to show you on our radar. Aside from a little bit of cloud coverage there in the northeast, not so coincidental, that's also where there's a little bit of moisture likely from that low pressure system. It's been misty in Churchill to start us off, and then from there, you'll likely get a little bit more in the way of rainfall. We're going to stay dry here in Winnipeg, as you can see. 24 degrees, 25 is what's seasonal. We're close enough. Winds still strong out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Overnight tonight, sky staying pretty clear. Those winds staying strong out of the northwest. Temperatures, though, starting to dip a little bit lower than we're used to, 9 degrees. Good news is that's going to be short-lived, because into tomorrow we are starting to see a touch of a warm-up. Very minute, but a warm-up nonetheless. 25 degrees will be our high. Winds out of the east, that mix of sun and cloud expected. Overnight lows, though, don't get to be quite as cool from there. So as you can see, we're staying in the teens through much of the week. We're also sticking with the same daytime high. Mother Nature just said, that's good enough. Copy and paste that forecast. A mix of sun and cloud on Thursday. Clear skies expected through the rest of the week. And yeah, bang on seasonal highs of 25 degrees. By Monday, we see a real warm up. 28 degrees are high, but the most noticeable difference is in those overnight lows. We're looking at lows in the upper teens, so maybe summer is not just done yet.
Several buildings were evacuated as a precaution after a natural gas leak on Henderson Highway. The city says crews were sent to the 1800 block that's north of Chief Peguis Trail shortly after 10:30 Monday morning. It says the line was struck during some construction work nearby. Although the gas was venting into the air, people were asked to leave some neighboring buildings as a precaution. Several nearby streets were also blocked off, and the city's hazmat team could be seen at the location. Manitoba Hydro eventually managed to stop the leak. No injuries were reported. Manitoba's largest hospital is still working to recover from a cyber attack a week after first discovering it. Shared Health says the ransomware hit maintenance systems at Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre and Cancer Care Manitoba, but patient care isn't affected. An investigation found the attack has affected central monitoring of its heating, ventilation, and cooling systems, but they're still operating and being monitored locally. As a result, the Health Sciences Centre's security office is closed, and the hospital is unable to issue or update ID access cards. Shared Health says it is still investigating whether any personal health or financial data was accessed, but an initial review suggests none was. Additional security has been added on the site as a precautionary measure after the problem was discovered on August the 10th. Reckless riders of e-scooters and e-bikes have prompted other road and trail users to push for action to make everyone safer.
There are kids zooming up and down the street I live on, no helmets. My message to the city is speed limits and enforcement.
Hotel resident Tom Milne is an e-bike rider. His concern is some of his fellow riders are riding too fast, and no bylaw exists to keep them in line. Under the Provincial Highway Traffic Act, e-devices were not previously regulated, but that could change now that Bill 43 has passed. A spokesperson from the City of Winnipeg says they are intending to bring recommendations to Council later this year or in 2027. One issue is that some bikes from overseas are capable of far exceeding Transport Canada's 32-kilometer-an-hour maximum.
Incidents we hear about are sort of bikes that are imported that don't fit under the regulations, that have pretty much unlimited speed, whether that's 50, 60, 70 kilometers an hour, and they are the problem on the roads.
On Bill 43, a spokesperson from the Minister of Transportation's office tells us as the bill is not yet in force, the department continues working on related regulatory amendments, some of which include potential enforcement and fine-related amendments. However, there is no requirement for municipalities to pass a bylaw once this comes into force. Russia has warned the UK of consequences after confirmation British-made drones were used in recent strikes on Russian military and industrial targets. In a statement, the Russian embassy to the UK accused the UK of deliberately opting for an escalation of the Ukraine crisis. They also said the deeper the UK gets involved in the war, the higher the price it will pay. Ukraine has recently stepped up attacks on a number of regions, including Moscow and in Russian-held Ukrainian territory. A spokesperson for the UK Ministry of Defense says they stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine. A major pharmaceutical company is warning about black market sales of an unapproved and illegal obesity drug. Lilly Canada says illicit versions of its experimental drug retatrutide are being sold online and via social media sites. In a news release, the company says the drug has not yet been approved for human use by Health Canada or any other regulatory agency in the world. Retatrutide is being developed to treat obesity, type 2 diabetes, and other related conditions. It's currently in clinical trials. Children in Windsor, Ontario helped one of the city's largest residents get back to looking her best.
I did cleaning the elephant, and they're really fun because you could wash it, so it's like clean and sparkly.
Families came out to the Windsor Sculpture Park to wash up the city's massive bronze elephant and her two calves. Tembo Wash Day is an annual event. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Toronto Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Ellis to St. Matthews Avenue. On Cambridge Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Mulvey to Grant Avenue, and all westbound lanes on Monroe Avenue will be closed between Luelda and Gray Street. Here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.66. That's a small drop compared to yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.54. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
It's 9 degrees outside right now. Your news and weather is coming up on Your Morning Winnipeg. Stay with us.
A little bit overcast to kick off our Tuesday, but the sunshine will be making herself seen in due time. 9 degrees, those westerly winds at 15 clicks, pressure on the rise, humidity sitting at 94%. Beautiful Tuesday ahead through much of southern Manitoba and to the north as well. A little exception in the northeast. We'll get to that in a moment. Not a lot to show you here on our radar as we're relatively clear. Of course, I just contradicted myself. It did look slightly overcast out there. Not enough to pick up on that radar because those clouds will be clearing in due time. I mentioned the caveat in the northeast. That low pressure system still likely to bring some rainfall in the early morning hours to those very easterly corners. From there, likely cloudy. Temperatures a little bit cooler, 11 degrees in Churchill. Thompson, though, likely staying dry at 16. The rest of this region sticking around those mid-teens for your highs. The northwest, though, has put that rain in its rearview mirror. Lots of sunshine on the way. Temperatures peaking in the low 20s in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Paw, and Flin Flon's case. A few degrees cooler than that in Lynn Lake at 18. Norway House, a high of 19 for you. Southwestern Manitoba, lots of sunshine, decently strong northwesterly winds at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Temperatures a few degrees below seasonal in the low 20s. Much the same for us in Winnipeg and the surrounding Red River Valley. We'll have those strong northwesterly winds. We'll have clearer skies as the morning progresses, and day for that matter. Highs just a bit below seasonal, 24 degrees through much of this region. Northwestern Ontario, maybe a little bit cooler than what we're seeing here in our neck of the woods, but mix of sun and cloud, lots of sunshine still. Temperatures peaking in the low 20s. Overnight tonight, bit of a cooler one, 9 degrees as our skies stay relatively clear. And then those northwesterly winds persisting as well at 20, gusting at times to 40. And then tomorrow, Mother Nature's like, I think I'm happy with 25, so we'll just stick with that through the rest of the week. Lots of sunshine ahead, a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow, more so into the afternoon, clearer in the morning. And then from there, clear skies expected through the majority of the week before a warm-up comes at the start of next week.
Easter Seals drop zone is happening today, and in fact in about 15 minutes or so. Ainsley, you are now on the roof of the Manitoba Hydro Place. Good morning.
I wore a trench coat today. Good morning. but none of the protective gear. So it looks like I can't rappel. Sorry, Lindsay Cook, president of Manitoba Possible. Just go online and watch the clips before it ended well, but it didn't start well. It's a brave feat, the people who come up here and do this.
It sure is, but yours is very memorable, Ainsley, I have to say. We rewatch that every year. So.
For a laugh. Manitoba Possible, you guys have almost hit $2 million. Where are we at now?
We're about $18,000 away from raising $2 million over the course of the 21 years that this event has been running. So we're really hoping we can make that milestone this year. It would be very meaningful to our organization.
And it doesn't happen without people, both the volunteers and the folks who are rappelling. They do a lot of work in order to volunteer.
You bet. Yeah, we've got a great team of volunteers that come and help us out every year to run this event. They're also excited to be here and cheer everyone on and really just thank our rappellers, who are the people that are raising money that goes towards supporting Manitobans with disabilities here.
And the technology, every time I see technology for folks with disabilities, I'm blown away by what's being done behind the scenes. People are waiting on some of that technology that you're going to provide.
You bet. Yeah, so our assistive technology program is one of our most popular programs at the organization. Last year we funded $187,000 in assistive technology for over 100 Manitobans. Every year there's cool innovations that really help people live their best lives, and we want to help people access that equipment that provides kind of the best quality of life for people here in the province.
Well, that's just it too. Like, people who want to ease some of that stress that able-bodied people don't deal with on a day-to-day basis. What does it mean to them and their families?
Yeah, it's really impactful. I mean, it helps people be the best that they can be kind of wherever they are, whether that's at school or at work or out in their community. It just really helps them live the life that they want and of their own design, right? So it removes some of those barriers that people might experience. So assistive technology is a really important part of life for all of us, but you know, the cost can be a barrier.
So it kicks off at 8 a.m. If you're rappelling today, it goes till 3. Words of encouragement from someone who's done it before. Just take a deep breath and enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Ainsley. What would you do if you came in contact with a shark? Most of us would race in the other direction. But one maritime teen who saw a struggling shark moved in to help. Here's CTV's Avery McCrae.
Ben Holland has walked this beach by his Mesas Bay home for over a decade. In that time, he has seen a few seals, a beached whale carcass, but never any shark sightings. Until this weekend.
I felt like I did the right thing, and it feels good.
Just before dinner Saturday afternoon, Holland heard a poor beagle shark had washed ashore. He went right to the beach, and a closer inspection determined the shark was still living. He wasted no time jumping into action to save the over 100-pound fish.
I flipped him over from his back to his stomach, and I grabbed his tail slowly with subtle touch and pulled him, dragged him into the water.
If I'm being honest, it's a very Finn thing to do.
Finn's mother, Jill Holland, is beaming with pride for her son's efforts. But during the rescue, she had other thoughts.
I was terrified. He grabbed onto the tail slowly, but I was like, that thing can whip around and get you at any time. I was convinced we were going to go to the hospital that night, but very, very lucky we didn't have to.
Poor beagle sharks tend to stay in the Bay of Fundy's deep waters and are declining in numbers. Marine Animal Response Society co-executive director Tanya Wimmer isn't sure what brought the shark to shore, but is pleased to hear about the happy ending.
To care that much and, you know, obviously refuse to sort of simply walk by and see an animal that is suffering in that way is really quite wonderful.
In an email to CTV, Rural Community of Fundy Shores Mayor Denny Cogswell says the municipality plans to formally recognize Finn's heroics in the days ahead. But for the 15-year-old, it was never about the recognition. It was about doing the right thing.
I don't take pride in myself a lot, but I'm proud that I did this.
Avery McCrae, CTV News, Mesas Bay, New Brunswick.
That's incredible. Okay, everyone, say happy birthday to Scotty. The world's largest T-Rex was discovered in Saskatchewan 35 years ago this week. He was found along the Frenchman River Valley on August 16, 1991. In June 1994, paleontologists began excavating the skeleton, which was 65% complete. It took nearly 20 years to get him out of the ground, and most of the work was done by hand. He's now on display at the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. Well, let's see who else is celebrating a milestone today. Happy birthday, Michael. Love from your family. Happy 75th birthday, Auntie Elaine. Love from your family. Happy 60th birthday, Wendy, with love from your sons Larry and Joseph. Happy 65th birthday, Dean. Love your family. Happy birthday, Louie, from your parents and friends who wish you good luck at the Cheesy Tot eating competition. Happy 80th birthday to Wanda from your family. And a happy birthday, Ashley. Love Ma, Dad, and Mia. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
We are slightly missing the mark today in terms of our high. We're on the doorstep, though, at 24 degrees when 25 is what's typical. Doing better than last year, but thankfully well off what the record set all the way back in 1983. Yeah, 36.2 doesn't sound too pleasant, unlike what we're dealing with right now. It's lovely out here. Just 9 degrees, fairly overcast. That'll be changing throughout the morning. Winds out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 94%. So let's start in the northeast. That's kind of the outlier area to our forecast today. For you, that low pressure system that brought some light rainfall yesterday, still on your doorstep, excuse me, bringing light rain throughout the morning, mostly in the Churchill area. It was misty, although the bulk of that system has really passed you by, so likely it'll taper off later this morning, leaving behind cloudy skies. Temperatures there cooler in the low teens. Meanwhile, the rest of the province, totally different story. Lots of sunshine on the way. The northwest, no exception. Highs there peaking in the low 20s. For us here in the south, slightly warmer. 24 is what we're looking at in Winnipeg, as you saw. Many values are similar, high values throughout the Red River Valley. Winds will be strong out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Overnight, skies staying pretty clear throughout the south, and then into tomorrow, much the same. Sunshine and at last seasonal temperatures.
Thank you, Catherine. Many Sea Bears players are heading out today to their respective communities after beating the Brampton Honey Badgers Saturday to win the CEBL championship game for the first time in the franchise's history. Finals MVP Xavier Moon led the Sea Bears with 29 points and 7 rebounds, while Simon Hildebrand had 24 points and 6 rebounds. And joining us now is Sea Bears forward Simon Hildebrand. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're a Winnipeg boy. This is your home base. So describe to me what it was like winning on home turf, right in your hometown.
Yeah, definitely a surreal experience for me. I still can't even, took me a while to kind of realize what exactly happened. Just like you said, being from here, doing it in my hometown in front of all these amazing fans, just definitely a moment that I'll never forget.
Describe what it was like inside Canada Life Centre, because there was over 15,000 fans watching you guys win this thing. What was it like in there? What was the vibe?
It was insane. I had people ask me, like, could you tell the difference between, you know, those first seasons when there was 7,000, 8,000 people and yesterday, and I was like, it's insane, the difference. Like it was so loud, it was so crazy, it was such an unbelievable atmosphere to play in.
Do you think it helped you get there to get that win?
Absolutely. I think, you know, it's a long game, and, you know, having those fans behind you just gives you that little bit of extra motivation and those little bit extra push when you need it.
You played with the Sea Bears 2 years, and then you took 1 year and you went to a different location, and then you came back last year. How does it feel knowing that all that hard work has paid off for you in this way?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I've had so many people reach out to me and say, wow, man, like, we've seen how much you've improved since you were last year, a couple years ago. Like, you definitely matured into a much better player, and we see yourself coming out of your shell. So I think it means a lot that people are kind of noticing the improvements that I've made throughout the years.
How would you describe this season? Because was it a rough start? How did it go for you?
It was a good year. We had a few little bumps throughout the start, but for the most part, I think our coaches and our organization did a great job of keeping basketball the main focus. If there was any, you know, little things, we nipped it right away and kept moving and kept basketball the main focus.
And then your team itself, what would you say is the sentiment between the players? Is it sort of like after winning this, you really feel like you're gelled as a team?
Yeah, I think we were a really close group. to start. Like we were all very close. We all wanted the same goal. We all worked really hard to get there, and I think winning just adds to that. I think, you know, after we won, we all got really close, and definitely something that I think we'll all remember, like this team, this special team, for a while to come.
So what was the party like on Saturday?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. You know, up pretty late, not a lot of sleep, and then, you know, back out a little bit the next morning, walking around, and yeah, just a lot of fun.
The fans who are watching right now, any messages to them?
I think it's so special to be a Winnipeg guy, doing this in Winnipeg where I've been most of my life. So just thank you for embracing me as a Winnipeg guy and letting me have the opportunity to do this in my hometown.
And any messages to some of the other people who might be rooting for you in Germany, because you are leaving for Germany on Saturday. Tell us about what you will be doing there and how exciting it is for you to venture that far.
Yeah, like I signed a contract to play my next year of basketball in Germany. It'll be fun. It'll be definitely a lot of ups and downs. I've never played over the ocean before.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be a lot of interesting moments, but I'm really excited for it to continue my basketball journey, and then, you know, hopefully I'll be back next summer.
That would be great to see you back. Any messages to any of the fans who want to see you back next year?
Winnipeg is easily the best place to play basketball in the CBL, so if they have me back, I'm not going to be playing anywhere else.
And when you do go to other cities and you see the fan base and then you compare it to ours, like, we're just the best, right?
Yeah, like nothing even comes close. Winnipeg is so special when it comes to sports. I think the way that the city rallies around their sports teams is next to none.
That's cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're so proud of you, and good luck in Germany, and hopefully we'll see you back next season.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday forward. We're going to head to Pittsburgh with the Pirates in action against the Tigers. Second inning, 2-1 for Jake Mangum, who drives it, and it's rookie Max Clark covering a lot of ground and makes an excellent catch as he crashes into the wall, saving a couple of runs. The rookie steals away extra bases and a great grab, and that is worthy of your must-see moment from Monday. On TSN tonight, we have WNBA action as the Tempo are in action against Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Tuesday, August 18th. Return to service. The Premier tells Dauphin residents that despite their hospital's extended closure, some key healthcare offerings will be locally accessible again soon. Tensions a world away produce ripple effects in the Canadian economy. How much did July inflation rise here in Manitoba, and what's behind the new numbers? And this electric supercar sold at auction for an astronomical amount. How much did it actually set the buyer back, and which charity will benefit from that carload of cash? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Manitoba, it's 8 o'clock on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, the Easter Seals drop zone is officially kicking off at 8 o'clock. So people will be scaling the building right now. We're going to join Ainsley at 8:06 to get the latest on who's going down that building and what it looks like at that point. But also at about 8:15, we're going to tell you about documents that are about 2,000 years old that are actually here in Winnipeg. And if you want to check them out yourself, you can do that. So we're going to tell you how and what you can expect in some of these old documents.
You want to see Rochelle come alive, talk about something old, something historic. Rochelle's a kid in a candy shop.
Well, the weather today will be pretty decent.
Yeah, pretty gorgeous, yes. Although, looking outside, it's not looking that way. It's kind of a misnomer as to what's to come. It's pretty overcast to kick us off. We do have sunshine on the way, but as you can see, a gloomy start. 9 degrees out there, winds out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure is on the rise, humidity sitting at 94%. Yeah, clear skies definitely on the horizon. However, the northeast, you're still contending with a good amount of cloud coverage.
care of that low pressure system that has been bringing some rain to your area through the last day or so. It's likely to continue in fits and starts this morning before tapering off. You see that little bit of cloud coverage that we're observing here in our skies. That's starting to break up by later on this morning. Our Futurecast shows us how this will progress. So there's that system I mentioned with that rain in the northeast. It's still slightly swirling there, but the tail end bringing that low chance, particularly around Churchill, of some rainfall continuing this morning. You see we're really clear all throughout basically this L shape of the province throughout the afternoon. Not a lot to write home about. Some stronger northwesterly winds throughout the south in particular, while those skies start to clear out slightly in the northeast and we get nice and clear overnight with those winds persisting. Then we are keeping an eye on this system here. It tracks in pretty quickly over the Saskatchewan border there, bringing a low chance of some rain and thunderstorm activity in through central parts. It starts to chart its course there through southwestern and southeast Manitoba, so low chance of some rainfall for us in the Red River Valley. Likely, though, it's going to clip by us. For us here today, a high of 24 degrees. 25 is what's seasonal. Those northwesterly winds staying strong overnight as well. Bit of a cooler overnight low at 9. Your weather art of the day. 10-year-old Parker drew this, taking their dog for a walk. Thank you so much for submitting that. And if you would like to submit your child's weather art of the day, simply visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There you're going to fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crocodoodle on Kenaston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crocodoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
A torrential rain on July 1st of this year flooded Dauphins Regional Health Centre, forcing it to close temporarily, leaving the city of nearly 9,000 in Manitoba's Parkland without local access to critical medical services. Now the Premier says the city can expect a return of some services sooner than anticipated.
We're going to have emergency department services back here in Dauphin by Labor Day. We've heard you loud and clear, Dauphin. You need these services close to home. You'll have an emergency department working by Labor Day.
In a post Monday on Instagram, Premier Wab Kinew said the services would be provided through a temporary facility as the hospital is being repaired. No word yet on where in Dauphin that facility will be located. He went on to thank crews working to repair the extensive flood damage in preparation for the hospital's eventual reopening. The ongoing U.S.-Iran conflict is the driving force behind higher gas prices in Canada and a rise in inflation. New numbers say inflation rose 3% year over year in July, and Manitoba's number is even higher.
Ridiculous as usual. Makes things hard in the summer to go do, get out more, get farther out of the city.
Crystal Hoffman feels the pain when she fills up at the pump, with prices above $1.71 per liter. The cost of fuel is a big driver in the latest inflation numbers from Statistics Canada. The national rate for July, year over year, is 3%. It's higher in many provinces, including Manitoba, up to 4.2% last month compared to 4% in June.
Manitoba is similar to what we're seeing in Saskatchewan and Alberta, so sort of a Western trend, if you will.
StatsCan says in Manitoba, food inflation dropped from 5% in June to 3.2% in July. Manitoba Finance Minister Adrian Sala points to the province's measure that cut PST on groceries July the 1st, calling this a good news report. It's down to the wire for trade talks between Canada and the U.S., with just hours left to reach a deal to avoid another round of U.S. tariffs.
We're going to continue working. Our job is not yet done. Thank you.
How do you feel it's going? How do you feel it's going, Minister?
Prime Minister Carney and U.S. President Trump spoke yesterday afternoon about the ongoing trade negotiations. There is no word on whether the two sides are any closer to a deal. If no deal is reached, the new tariffs will come into effect just after midnight on Wednesday. The new 50% tariffs would be on a variety of goods and could impact up to $28 billion worth of Canadian exports to the U.S. This car just rolled off the auction block for a record price. Ferrari's first ever electric car has fetched $40 million US in a charity sale. That sets a record for a new vehicle sold at auction. The sale raised more than 35 times the usual price of the car at the event at RM Sotheby's in California. All proceeds of the sale will be donated to the Ferrari Foundation's educational program. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along Notre Dame Avenue. Things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about in the drive this morning. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the top of Manitoba Hydro Place. The building there is getting scaled down by many people who are rappelling down the side of the building. It started at 8 o'clock. How are things going so far?
So far, so good. You're not looking at two of them. Yeah. Rob and I are not going to be rappelling, but we are going to be congratulating and encouraging the people who do and are oh so brave. He's the CEO of Easter Seals Canada. Thank you for being here today. How great is it to be in Manitoba and actually see this happening in real time?
Yeah. As you know, so much goes into the preparation and planning for these types of events. It starts really a year in advance. We have events going on across the country, started in Halifax recently, and of course we're at Manitoba Hydro Place. Today is our second stop on our tour, and we'll be finishing up in Vancouver in a few weeks from now. So it's just great to finally see things kind of coming together and being on site here today and looking at these amazing rappellers that are looking at heading down the building.
What does this annual event mean for the organization?
It means a ton. Easter Seals Canada for over 100 years has been, helping to build an inclusive Canada by raising funds nationally. So our wonderful provincial affiliates and partners like Manitoba Possible can actually take those funds to deliver, life-changing services and programs locally.
What a unique event. I know it's been going on since 2005 here in Manitoba, but what an interesting way to be able to donate. What's kind of the feedback that you hear about this particular event?
Well, I think in a very small way, it's what these rappellers are going through today is somewhat symbolic, right? Of breaking down the barriers necessary to create a more inclusive Canada, and so I think the feedback is obviously there's lots of anxiety from the rappellers, but when they get to the bottom, there's a real sense of accomplishment that not only of their personal accomplishment, but the broader accomplishment of really trying to do. In their own small way, to raise critical funds to help, support those in need across the province.
I like how you mentioned the bottom, because that's exactly where I felt it. The top, there's a picture of me just giving the camera a stink eye. The bottom, I'm like, yeah, that was easy.
It's all about perspective. All right, thanks, Ains. Researchers at the University of Guelph have sprouted what they're calling a super bean that can withstand harsher conditions. And they're doing it with the help of artificial intelligence. CTV's Karis Map has more on how you could soon grow your own.
You will see the differences. And that's the magic of the AI.
Artificial intelligence is helping bean breeders from the University of Guelph harvest a high-end legume.
I call it super beans because I think we are at some point that we can get the best juice out of the data with the help of using AI.
Advanced technology developed by the team at the Ontario Agricultural College speeds up the selection process when crossbreeding seeds.
We are the first breeding program that we are using hybrid AI.
Taking 40 years of archived program data, combining it with published academic papers, and putting it all in one place. That's how Bean GPT was formed.
It's about taking the enormous amount of data that we have through genomic analysis and then making decisions about what varieties to start crossing to achieve what outcome.
I think it's important that we're using the technology that we have for things that will help people in the future.
Thousands of beans, including the AI-influenced ones, were on display at the college's Elora growing facility for the public to enjoy.
Industry partners, governments, farmers, growers, students, all the researchers just coming and see what we are doing as a plant breeder and computational biologist here at the university.
It hasn't exactly been an easy growing season. From severe thunderstorms to swings in extreme heat and even wildfire smoke, all of which can impact how these beans grow.
AI told us that this one is better because it can, better actually tolerate to different climate variables and variations.
Once they're ready to hit the market, the super beans could revolutionize the growing business.
Every dollar invested in research translates into about $40 of commercial value for a farmer. And so, for the sector, this is a really impactful number.
Karis Map, CTV News, Elora.
Pretty overcast to kick off our day as we take a look through the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Yes, a little bit cloudy, but sunshine in due time for us here throughout much of the province. Temperatures starting off on a decent note. It was a little bit cooler through the morning, starting to perk up slightly. 11 degrees through much of the region, Winnipeg included. Portage, Morden, and Winkler, Sprague in that boat as well. 12 degrees in Dauphin, 9 in Brandon. Northern Manitoba on par with what we're seeing here. Churchill at 10 degrees with those misty skies. 11 in Gillam and Island Lake. Over to the northwest, 10 degrees in the Paw and Flin Flon. Not a lot to show you on our radar, even though it is decently cloudy out there. We are going to see that start to shift off later on this morning, leaving behind pretty clear skies. You can see that little bit of cloud concentration there, and in the northeast where it is a bit more of an overcast start to your day. For us here, that sunshine will be rearing its beautiful head later on today. About 12 degrees in the morning as those winds start to ramp up out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. They shift and get stronger into the afternoon out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Slow climb with our temperatures to about 23 by late afternoon. Winds staying strong. We're going to get a little bit warmer than that. 24 degrees is our high. 25 is what's typical for this time of year. Close enough. Overnight, skies remaining clear, temperatures dipping down to 9. Those northwesterly winds also not losing any gusto. Into tomorrow, though, a little bit lighter with those winds shifting out of the east at 15 clicks. Temperatures, the high at 25 degrees. My brain is scrambling. And as you can see, Mother Nature just stuck with the real theme here. 25 degrees are projected highs through much of the week. Lots of sunshine on the way before temperatures heat up next week.
Tomorrow is the deadline for U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff that would see 50% fees imposed on a variety of goods from cement to hockey sticks. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Janice Charette, the chief trade negotiator, have been in Washington since last week. They sat down with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick on Monday. The Canadian Real Estate Association says home sales in July were down 5.3% compared with a year ago, but edged up a half point month over month. Sean Cathcart, Korea's senior economist, says that below the surface, markets across the country are generally moving back toward balance. And Home Depot's results beat estimates in the latest quarter, a sign that spending on improvement projects is holding up despite high borrowing and housing costs. Comparable sales, which measure results at stores open for at least a year, rose 1.7% in the period, better than the average of analyst estimates and the highest since late 2022. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Ancient documents written by people who lived more than 2,000 years ago are now on display here in Winnipeg. A public exhibit of authentic papyrus manuscripts written in ancient Greek can be seen live at the U of M's Archives and Special Collections at the Elizabeth Defoe Library. The exhibit is called the Ancient Inbox, and they're on loan from the University of Michigan. Joining us now is the U of M Professor of Classics, Mike Sampson. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, tell us about these documents and where they came from.
Yeah, all the documents come from the Roman period of Egypt's history, and they're written in ancient Greek. And you may ask yourself, sort of, why Greek if they're Roman? And the answer is that the government administration was functioning in Greek, and so all learned Romans were using that language for their official business and for government materials.
That's fascinating. Where were they found exactly?
Various places. Sometimes we know if they've been excavated in an archaeological dig. Sometimes we don't know if they were purchased on the antiquities market. And in Egypt in the early part of the 20th century, when Michigan acquired these papyri, a lot of them via purchase, the market wasn't entirely regulated in the way that it is today.
Let's talk about the manuscripts themselves. Papyrus. What is papyrus and why is it so delicate?
Yeah, papyrus is the name both for the writing surface and for the plant that it's manufactured from. It's a reed that grows, and it's indigenous to Egypt. It grows in the banks of the Nile River and in the Delta, and you make papyrus sheets by slicing the plant and laying its inner pith into strips, and they'd make it in 2 layers, in fact. So the strips are laid side by side in one direction, and then a second layer is put on top to make a sheet that's like 2-ply, and the fibers are running in different directions on the two sides of the writing surface. But it's a lot like modern paper. It's very flexible, very easy to use, very easy to carry around, and it grew in such abundance in Egypt that there was quite a bit of it.
That's fascinating. Okay, so tell us about what these documents show about everyday life back in Greco-Roman Egypt.
Yeah, we often, when I think of papyri, I like to think of literary texts and sort of the ancient books, but these aren't those. These are documents, which is to say they're receipts, accounts, petitions, contracts, private correspondence, both between individuals, but individuals and the government, for example. And so we really get a glimpse into sort of all aspects of daily life in Greco-Roman Egypt, how individuals were conducting their businesses, how they were conducting their affairs, how they were interacting with one another, their fellow visitors, not their fellow visitors, their fellow villagers, excuse me, okay. Members of their communities, and also their government.
And what condition are these documents in?
Terrible, for the most part. We were lucky. Michigan loaned us some very, very nice pieces, which were in reasonably good shape. But typically, papyri are, they're almost 2,000 years old in some cases. And so they're full of holes, they're broken, they're torn. There are gaps in the text where we have to be creative in trying to imagine what was originally there. And the scripts themselves are really remarkable to see. Very, very, very elegant handwriting, rapid and cursive and hard to read, but wonderful stuff.
Absolutely. Now, describe to me what it was like the first time you saw them in person.
Oh, that's a really interesting question. My eyes lit up. It was a bit like sort of, is this real? And then the more time you spend with them and the larger the number of papyri that the scholar gets to work with, sort of the greater the appreciation you have. There's tens of thousands of these in collections, not only in North America, but in Europe and in Egypt as well. And so there's quite a few, and many of them haven't been read yet. There's a lot of work for scholars still to do in dealing with the papyri.
And people can see these for themselves, right? It's open to the public.
That's right. It's the exhibit is free of charge and is open Monday to Friday from 8:30 to 4:30 up in the DAFO Library Archives and Special Collections.
I'm totally coming to check it out for myself. Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing this with us.
You're very welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Looking gorgeous out here to start off our day. We're starting to see some of that cloud coverage move out of the way of that sunshine that's peeking through. It's 11 degrees, those winds messing up my hair out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity at 90%. So Mother Nature is serving up a very sunny day, if not a bit benign. We'll be dealing with temperatures a little bit below seasonal. For Winnipeg, that's 24 degrees. The Red River Valley throughout can expect similar highs. The rest of the province as well, a good amount of sunshine. The southwest, temperatures maybe a few degrees cooler, excuse me, and most of the south will be dealing with decently strong northwesterly winds at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. The kind of outliner here is the northeast. You'll be dealing with maybe some rainfall to kick off your day, but very a small amount, marginal if that. And then from there, lots of cloud coverage. Temperatures though cooler, peaking in the low teens. For us here overnight in Winnipeg, skies staying clear. Temperatures getting a bit cool overnight at 9 degrees with those northwesterly winds staying strong. And then into tomorrow, much the same, if not cloudier to start the day, if you can believe it, but more sunshine into the afternoon with a high of 25. And that's really the theme through the week. Lots of sunshine, highs in the mid-20s before a warm up at the start of next week. Your Skywatch picture of the day takes us to the Mint. This one captured by Tony. Thanks for submitting. And if you've got any weather photos to share, be sure to email us at winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Well, whether you're planning one last summer escape or looking ahead to a fall adventure, travel expert Jennifer Weatherhead is sharing her top travel essentials that make every trip that much smoother. Good morning, Jen. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Now, Jen, I love talking travel, of course, and the easiest way to stay fresh and feel fresh while you're on the road starts, of course, with fresh breath. You have a new mini travel-friendly version for us.
I do, and I'm absolutely obsessed with them because I can put them in any kind of bag, my toiletry bag, my purse, whichever. It is the Listerine on-the-go Cool Mint mouthwash packets. So they're super tiny, as you can see, one use each time. So you can put that in your toiletry bag, your purse, your pocket, keep some in your car. So it's just going to give you that totally clean, whole clean mouth feeling. It's going to kill the bad breath bacteria. It's long lasting. So, you know, if you've done like an overnight flight and you don't want to wash or brush your teeth on the plane, you can just use one of these. It's super easy, and you can get all of them at Amazon.ca.
Oh, that's perfect. All right, now speaking of road trips, it's a great time, of course, to get in one last-minute trip on the road. But are there ways to earn and save with one of Canada's big loyalty programs?
Yeah, so I love earning when I travel, and I think that's one of the best things to do, especially on a road trip. And with Scene Plus, you can do that. So Scene Plus is really great because it allows their members to earn on everyday purchases that then you can use for your trips anywhere you go. They've also started to work with Shell. So a great way for you to do your road trip. You can fuel up and earn points. They have tons of amazing road trip snacks at Shell. I have some here. So that's a great thing to do. Scotiabank and Tangerine Scene Plus card members will also save up to 10% per liter, or 10 cents per liter. And then Scene Plus also has another great travel program you can redeem for a lot of different rewards. It's powered through Expedia. 100 points equals $1. You can redeem using just points, or you can do a combination of payment and points, so it makes it super easy.
Sure, super easy and a great way to save. Now, this is the time, we're getting further into August. We need to squeeze in that one last-minute cottage escape, but it's also mosquito season, so what's the solution for that?
Yeah, I know. We don't want those mosquitoes around us. So we're going to use a Thermacell rechargeable mosquito repeller. So I love this because it's super small, compact, portable, rechargeable, and they have some scientifically proven technology that is going to create a 20-foot zone defense system around those mosquitoes to keep them away. People safe, pet safe, because we want to protect our furry friends as well. Mentioned it's rechargeable, so 6.5 hours that this will last if it's fully charged. If you need to charge it again, it'll take about 2 hours to fully charge. You can get it at Canadian Tire or Amazon.ca. It also comes with a refillable repellent in there as well, so that will get you through the rest of the summer.
Perfect. Jen, you always have the best travel tips. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks.
And there are never enough baby hippo videos. The Toronto Zoo shared the latest update of the pygmy hippo calf. The baby has been confidently playing in shallow pools, and it's safe to say the zoomies are hitting hard. Mom and baby are enjoying special bonding time in the little hippo hollow behind the scenes. She's only 16 days old, but is already showing off a big personality. All right, here's a look outside now at the Norwood Bridge. Things are moving well in this part of the city. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. The week is going to be warming up, but it's the overnights that are cool.
Yes, for a little bit of a spell, Rochelle, but then we start to get a little bit of a warmer kind of stretch of time to let us know that we still got a good amount of summer to enjoy. Although right now it's looking pretty dreary, pretty gray to kick off our Tuesday. It's 11 degrees out there. There are some pockets of sunshine. Winds out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure on the rise. Humidity sitting at 90%. Not a lot to show you on our radar. There is that collection of clouds hovering over us here in Winnipeg in the Red River Valley, likely to break up later on this morning, leaving behind a good amount of sunshine, decent warmth. 24 degrees is our high, 25 is more what's typical, but we'll take it, close enough. Winds, meanwhile, will be decently strong out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Into, excuse me, let me step off for a second. Into tomorrow, 9 degrees out there, or clear skies, winds out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Into tomorrow, 25 degrees as our high. We're starting to see those temperatures peak up. Winds out of the east at 15 kilometers per hour with that mix of sun and cloud. From there, we've really got just a theme going. Lots of sunshine, dead on seasonal temperatures. 25 degrees on Thursday. Rochelle talked about those overnight lows. We're in a spell of a bit warmer periods there. As you can see, 14 degrees, not terrible. And we're sticking into the teens into the weekend as well. But a real noticeable warm up comes on Monday. 28 degrees, and even overnight we're staying relatively balmy at 17.
Manitoba's largest hospital is still working to recover from a cyber attack a week after first discovering it. Shared Health says the ransomware hit maintenance systems at Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre and Cancer Care Manitoba, but patient care isn't affected. An investigation found the attack has affected central monitoring of its heating, ventilation, and cooling systems, but they are still operating and being monitored locally. As a result, the Health Sciences Centre security office is closed, and the hospital is unable to issue or update ID access cards. Shared Health says it is still investigating whether any personal health or financial data was accessed, but an initial review suggests none was. Additional security has been added on site as a precautionary measure after the problem was discovered on August the 10th. Researchers at Ontario's Western University have weighed in on a couple of storm events in early July that took place along the Manitoba-Ontario border. The Northern Tornadoes Project says the Caddy Lake area in Manitoba was hit with what it called a downburst or microburst at around 1 p.m. on July the 6th. It had initially been classed as an EF0 tornado. The burst damaged trees in the area, but no injuries were reported. The actual wind speed is still being reviewed. Half an hour later, about 40 kilometers east of Caddy at Deception Lake in Ontario, an EF2 tornado struck the area. In that event, tree damage was reported and there were no injuries. The estimated maximum wind speed in this incident was about 190 kilometers an hour. Folklorama has come and gone, but it seems to have left a lasting impression on Manitobans. The festival scored big attendance numbers. More than 360,000 people turned up this year. 45 pavilions highlighted cultures from around the world, and 972 shows were put on during its 2-week stretch. Meantime, Folklorama says it also experienced a Green Initiative victory. The organization started composting this year. This led to venues diverting around 15,000 kilograms of waste from the landfill. Cash deposits are now required for people who are granted bail in Ontario courts, a major change to that province's bail system. But there are concerns the move will create a two-tiered justice system, separating those who can afford to pay for their freedom from those who can't. Here's CTV's John Woodward.
He's already out there. That's not going to be a problem.
Last year, the self-styled cocaine lawyer Deepak Paradkar was arrested on allegations he acted as a fixer for former Olympic snowboarder and alleged drug kingpin Ryan Wedding. He's fighting extradition to the U.S., and a Superior Court justice allowed him released on the strength of a pledge that if he fled, he, his wife, and wife's cousin would have to pay up to $5.25 million, one of the largest bail amounts in Canadian history. Ontario's new rules might have meant Paradkar would stay behind bars for a while longer, requiring not just a pledge, but the $5 million in cash up front. The government says this makes consequences of a breach immediate. Right now, the government has to pursue the debt.
People deserve to feel safe in their homes, at work, and in their daily lives. They deserve to know that when someone is released on bail, the conditions attached to that release are taken seriously.
The new rules take effect Monday, applying to bail amounts big and small, and that's where critics say the law is a violation of Canada's Charter of Rights because it treats people differently depending on their income.
It's creating a two-tiered system. If you have money, you can get out of jail. If you don't, you're stuck.
Other concerns: it could add more people to Ontario's overcrowded jails and create court paperwork for every bail case instead of just those who breach.
This is, again, solving a problem that doesn't exist and just going to create absolute administrative havoc.
Upfront cash bail is the law in many American jurisdictions, and not worth following here, say those who are readying that charter challenge.
The law changes what has been the status quo for about over 50 years, where cash bail is very much the exception and not the rule.
Ontario's government in the midst of a $3 billion jail expansion to provide 2,500 more jail beds. Critics don't want those beds occupied by people who just can't afford to leave. John Woodward, CTV News, Toronto.
Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along Donald Street. We have no problems to tell you about here. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.66. That's a small drop compared to yesterday's amount. And the lowest price in the city is $1.54. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. We wanted to know, have you ever bought something and never used it? Marlene says, I bought a Keurig and I forgot I had it. Susan brought a set of pots and never used them. Lindsay has an exercise bike in her basement that's collecting dust. Trevor bought shoe polish, but he's never used it. Elaine bought a first aid kit, never used it yet. That's maybe a good thing. Suzanne shared, I can't discuss, my husband is watching. A compact slicer for Pamela. And April says, during COVID, I bought an inflatable kayak, which I haven't used. Well, thank you so much for your responses. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's hanging out at Manitoba Hydro Place. That is where people are rappelling off the top of the building. Good morning, Ainsley.
Yep, it kicked off at 8 a.m. and it's going till 3 today. Tinica and Kristen, they did it today. Kicked something off their bucket list and a birthday, reward. A birthday for Kristen, and Tinica's tomorrow. So why did you guys want to do this?
I just wanted to raise money to help the community in Manitoba Possible and also celebrate my birthday.
How was it?
Really awesome. Kind of terrifying, but really fun.
What was the scariest part?
The first part, getting off the building. Yeah, that was probably the worst.
I agree. I did it like 3 years ago, and that was absolutely the worst part for me. What about you, Tinica?
The scariest part for me was actually in the middle. I had no problem getting up and over, and I was good to go. But then in the middle, my feet started getting away from the wall, and then I got a bit scared.
Because you do your own slack, and then it jumps. Is that what happened?
Yeah, a little bit. And then, just spinning a bit, but it was so fun, so worth it. I feel so accomplished right now, so, yeah.
And what was the reason behind taking on this feat?
For me, it was on my 50 by 50 bucket list. I see this event happening every year. My last apartment used to look onto this event, and I just think they do good things for Manitobans and Canadians, and so I wanted to be part of it.
And giving back to the community, too. You already touched on that, but how important is that for the both of you?
Well, I'm a social worker, so that's part of what I do in my education and my job. So that's just part of kind of what I value and who I am. Yeah.
A unique thing about this building is that when it's happening, you can look into the windows and see the hydro workers just doing their thing. What is that like for people who haven't experienced it?
It's interesting. So I saw some folks like leaning over the partitions, looking at us, and then some people had their backs to us just working on spreadsheets. So maybe they enjoy it. Maybe they're wondering what this tapping on their window is. But yeah, it's fun for me. I hope it's fun for them too.
Someone came up to me over a week later when I did this in 2023, and they said, "Oh, I was working at Hydro and I saw you." And I'm like, oh my goodness, that is not the most forgiving angle, my word. A message to people who either want to donate or who are thinking of doing this themselves.
Definitely donate. It's a wonderful cause that I think needs a lot of support. And if you're thinking about doing it, next year is the time, maybe.
And you know what? If you live or work downtown and you're going to be in the area today, Edmonton has some construction, but feel free to walk over and watch the people rappelling. It's a good time and a great community event.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. That first step off the building is when my brain was rappelling against what I was doing. It was saying stop.
I do this fun thing called dissociation, where you're like out of your body.
Yeah.
I watch those segments back of me going I remember nothing, but I was obviously freaked, but you get this exhilaration after, and for such a great cause. So yes, kudos, hats off to those folks doing it, because definitely a fun thing, and Manitoba Possible, incredible organization. Meanwhile, Mother Nature is actually going to be treating them to some pretty nice weather, I must say. So while we're starting to see some cloud coverage move away, still a little bit of a breeze here, 11 degrees. Those winds out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. Again, it is still a touch overcast, but it is lightening up. Barometric pressure rising, humidity at 90%. So we'll start in the northeast. That's the outlier for our weather picture, our forecast, our story for the day. The northeast, you've been dealing with that low pressure system through the last day and change. It's likely to exit your region off and on throughout the day, leaving behind cloudy skies, but there could be a little bit of moisture, particularly in and around Churchill through the early morning hours here. From there, temperatures a bit cooler in the low to mid teens. Meanwhile, the rest of the province, totally different story. Tons of sunshine on the way, the northwest you included. Highs there in the upper teens to low 20s, while the rest of us here in the south will be just shy of seasonal. That's 25 through much of southern Manitoba. We'll be on that doorstep in Winnipeg. 24 is our high. Meanwhile, we'll be contending with some decently strong northwesterly winds at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. They stay strong overnight as our skies clear out even more. And into tomorrow, we're getting a touch warmer, 25 degrees. And in fact, that's our projected high through much of the week. Lots of sunshine thrown in there before we get a bit of a warm up at the start of next week. Let's take a break, but stay with us. So much more of your Morning Winnipeg on the other side, so don't you dare go anywhere.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. Doctors are warning of the spread of misinformation surrounding an essential vitamin for newborns. CTV's Heather Wright on what parents need to know.
Do you believe that babies have a vitamin K deficiency?
Slick videos like this one are all over the internet explaining to parents the alleged risks associated with the vitamin K shot.
This is interference with long-term consequences they never talk about.
Doctors say this type of misinformation is leading to an increase in parents refusing the shot, which is given to babies right after birth to help with blood clotting.
The incidence seems to be increasing, which is why there's concerns.
Dr. Eugene Ng is a neonatologist at Sunnybrook Hospital in Toronto and says because babies are born with a vitamin K deficiency, a shot of the nutrient is given to prevent a rare but potentially life-threatening condition known as vitamin K deficiency bleeding, which can lead to brain bleeds and long-term brain damage.
Late vitamin K deficiency bleeding is associated with a 3 times higher risk of intracranial hemorrhages, meaning that it's bleeding into the brain. And bleeding into the brain is a severe complication.
Those opposed to the vitamin K shot list a host of reasons why, including concerns about ingredients, preservatives, and debunked links to leukemia.
This is a well-established, much-needed, very routine biomedical procedure.
Timothy Caulfield is a professor at the University of Alberta and says parents who refuse the vitamin K shot are also less likely to vaccinate their children. He says both are examples of the power of health misinformation.
That sort of personal, urgent message from an influencer that you might relate to can be more persuasive than the authoritative voice that's expressing what the science actually says.
It's hard to know just how many Canadian parents are declining this shot, but a new study from Sweden found from 2006 to 2021, the refusal rate more than doubled. Doctors say there is an oral alternative for any parents who are hesitant to give their babies a shot. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
There is a pilot project in Ottawa to test out permeable pavement. It's to help deal with those sudden and intense storms. CTV's Kimberly Johnson reports.
Intense flooding has hit Ottawa communities hard this summer, but a new way to pave could be on the way in Ottawa to help prevent it in the future. It's called permeable pavement. Here, you see a bucket of water quickly absorb into it at the EV charging stations at the Ottawa airport.
It absorbed 18 liters of water in 32 seconds through less than 1 square foot of surface area.
The pavement, made by Pure Pave Technology, an Ottawa-based company. CEO Taylor Davis says during a storm, the specialized pavement allows the ground to act like a sponge instead of relying on drains.
When you have a storm system that's essentially full during these rain events, that's when we're starting to see flooding. That's when we have nowhere for the water to go.
With the permeable pavement, that moves through it. And then eventually it moves into the ground itself. That's where it gets absorbed. And the idea is to hopefully bypass the sewer systems altogether. The City of Ottawa is using the permeable pavement in a pilot project. Strips will be placed along Anna Avenue and Crown Crescent near Carling and Fisher.
The first of its kind in Canada.
While other permanent pavement systems exist, Pure Pave Technology says this one is unique as it's made to work in colder climates. The pilot project is being supported by the National Research Council as well as the University of Ottawa and Carleton. Councillor Devine says permeable pavement is being adopted in New York City, but here it's a first in Canada.
I hope now that we scale up and we do a lot more of this, because Ottawa's vulnerable wards, including my own, are being hit time and time again. And frankly, we could never afford to increase the size of our sewer systems.
The pilot project launches in the fall. Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
A pipe band from BC's Simon Fraser University has won the so-called World Cup of Bagpipes in Scotland. And they've made some history along the way. CTV's Sinjin Alexander on the performance that put them on top.
In the world of pipe bands, it doesn't get any bigger than this. These are the best of the best. 2 days of breathtaking yet grueling competition, the pinnacle of the piping calendar.
Simon Fraser University Pipe Band from Canada.
This year, the team from Simon Fraser University wowed the crowd. The players seemed to click, firing on all cylinders. That's Pipe Major Alan Bevan.
There was a cohesion to this group this year that I'm not sure I've felt it in other years, but I'm not sure I've ever felt it this much. All 4 performances felt really solid. People came off with a smile on their face, and as leader, it felt, never feels easy, but it felt like nothing was going to go off the rails.
The judges agreed SFU's performance was top class and were chosen world champions.
This is like winning the World Cup of the bagpiping world.
No small feat considering 6 other teams were favorites, positioned to take it all.
We kind of come out of nowhere from the west coast of Canada.
We won't call you the upset, but was it a surprise?
It probably was. It was a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest.
In a win not only for country, but family too. Bevan's wife and sons are in the band. So is Sutherland's spouse. All of them live in British Columbia.
It means the world to us to get over there and compete and to get such a fantastic result.
After all, the last time a team outside the United Kingdom won was way back in 2010. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
The weather is music to my ears today. It's 11 degrees, though this shot makes it look quite overcast. Areas in other parts of the city, I should say, are much clearer. Winds are strong, not really, out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 90%. They will be getting stronger throughout the day and shifting out of the northwest. Along with it, those clouds likely to clear, picking up slightly there on our radar. The northeast, though, much more overcast than what we're going to see here. From there, plenty of sunshine to come. A high of 24 degrees for us here in Winnipeg. 25 is what's typical. Those strong northwesterly winds will also be persisting overnight as temperatures dip down to 9 degrees. Skies remaining clear. And then from there, it looks like I'm mailing it in today, but Mother Nature kind of has decided on a theme for this week. 25 degrees into tomorrow with that mix of sun and cloud. Same goes for Thursday. Want to draw your attention, though, to those overnight lows. They're not as cool as we've been seeing through the weekend. So looking like we're in a bit of a warmer spell, particularly on Monday, where we're heating up to 28. We're taking a break. Your videos of the day still to come.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. We kick things off with a baby who is a born leader. Little Rayleigh sure knows how to work up a crowd. Whenever she claps and cheers, the whole bus follows along. Hope she uses her powers for good when she grows up. What a cutie. Well, now playtime looks a lot different in this household. The preschooler mixes beats, her brother shows off their cat's dance moves in the background. As the caption reads, just as long as they're not fighting or throwing a tantrum, just let it slide. I'm not sure if the cat would agree.
I can't see Gasolina around kids because I just think of a sweaty bar in my 20s. It's a shift of a context there.
Gosh, so does the cat. And lastly, if you're feeling down, this will definitely brighten things up.
You're all my sunshine, my only sunshine, who made me happy. Big Father, you're all my sunshine.
And nothing better than a toddler in a diaper singing "You Are My Sunshine." Hadley nails the song with guitar in hand and gets progressively louder after she tells herself to sing it a bit faster.
I like that. It sounds like she's scolding us. Like, you're my sunshine. You are.
That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.